Whoops. I probably should actually turn off the rain. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to... what? Sorry. Gotta get a waypoint. Hello, Zara. So, one other negative I've been slowly building in my mind is the economy. As pointed out before, I haven't exactly been skipping combat. And I've already started falling behind on Mira pretty consistently. Well, I've even been doing the doors, which are optional. And I'm still falling behind on Mira. Hang on, it gets worse. Because I also have more people to keep geared consistently, because the game pretty much mandates me swapping between the 20 or so characters we're going to be dealing. So, I have more people to gear and less money to do it with. Sepith has been fine, weirdly enough. But Mira's been dragging. Low right flavor text for food. I guess to summarize, for anybody who cares, I don't think this one's going to break triple digits like the second did. I look forward to being surprised. No, combat's the main way to do it. This is pretty standard RPG affair. Should jot that down, but I'll think about it. That is a good question, Blake Ball. It was dark, yeah. Still, I guess you can't expect much in the way of light from a staircase leading to an underground waterway. I've heard this used to be an old ruin until the Bracers Guild repurposed it as a training area. It's a little hot, though. I'd love to have a passage leading to an underground waterway. It'd be much cooler than this. It's pretty damn hot. A weird rumbling sound I can hear for a while. It's bothering me, too. Actually, I think we're almost at the end, so maybe it'll cool down in a second. Of course it's lava. What in the world? Well, it's no wonder we were feeling hot. Call me an optimist, but I doubt this is how the place normally is. Let's start this off as our enemies work. I'd say that's a safe assumption to make. Means we're really going to need to proceed cautiously. Oh hey, new dungeon song. Holy crap. Which is good when you're basically repurposing a dungeon. And by basically, I mean literally. Remember, this was a dungeon in the second game. Look, I'm not trying to be negative, but wow! The asset reuse. Kind of really fine. You know, this might be interesting precedents for another game. In fact, I think this is a good time to establish precedents for another game. A game called After Years. So for those who are not aware of it, Final Fantasy IV had a sequel. It's actually, I believe, the first FF sequel we ever had. It was called After Years. And when I say they repurposed dungeons, I mean that incredibly literally. As in, you would go to the exact same dungeons with the exact same layout, and in many cases the same enemy types, although sometimes the levels and stuff would be changed around to accommodate. It was made on the cheap, put simply. But while conceptually that shouldn't bother me, I will not deny that in Reality Land, it always did. Like, it always felt cheap. I don't have a better way to say that. Now, I haven't reviewed After Years. In fact, I haven't played After Years in about 20 years at this point, actually. It's a long friggin' time ago. Whenever it came out on the PSP, so it's been a minute. No, it's probably not going to review well, but like for the specific concept of reusing. Interesting. For the specific concept of just straight up reusing dungeon design. See, normally I'd ask the crowd, but I think I only have like three people watching me right now. Anybody in the comments section wants to jump in on this? Like, we're not going to beat the game today, so you'll still have a chance for me to see it before the review is finalized. Any thoughts on literal dungeon reuse? You know, like this. I mean, even the switches are in the same spots. Like, because I could see the idea that, well, you know, we're only supposed to review the dungeon that's here. We're only supposed to review the content that's here, not whether or not that content's been reused before. We've never walked into that kind of a situation before. We've never seen this level of reuse before. Like, let me use an example. When we reviewed Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the bird got positives. Because even though the bird was just the same feature from Assassin's Creed Origins, it's still a good feature, well implemented. So, like, features... Congratulations, you're the second adventurer to open this chest. Aha, game. That's actually true, we do, Blade to Fall. Yeah, meanwhile, Pocket's like, death to the interlopers. I suppose implementation is kind of the key point, really. As it always is, really. Okay, normally I'd fight that mob, but let's just get out of the lava, yeah? What is this, FF1? See, the problem is this is actually extremely rare, right? So, like, for example, PB Goodfate says Mario Wonder or the Metroids. Metroid Dread has one specific part of the game changed by spoilers, and when you go back through it, it is functionally a completely different area. But that's the point, isn't it? It's functionally a completely different area. It's an extremely good usage of backtracking, right? Because it's not actually backtracking at all. Same thing with Mario Wonder. They design each level like 1.5 times to accommodate the Wonder mechanic. What I'm talking about is so rare, I'm actually struggling to come up with examples of it off the top of my head. true, Blades of all. This also kind of feels weird because this is we're technically reaching into hypotheticals, right? Because most of the scenarios this would really apply in don't exist. Let me use a hypothetical right off the top of my head. Let's say Mega Man 5 got several pluses for Gravity Stage. Let's just say they got one, just to make this simple. So let's say Gravity Man. Evo, I'd love your thoughts on this too. So let's say Gravity Man stage got one positive to gameplay. Okay. Now let's say that in Mega Man 6, all of a sudden Gravity Man stage was there again. Same stage. Does it get positives in Mega Man 6? It's still the same stage. It's still a good stage, but you can tell how weird that feels, right? So I'm not ignoring everyone, I'm just kind of still chewing on all this, because it's just such a really weird situation. And really rare. Like I said, I can't really think of any other game that follows this concept other than After Years. Would you also like coffee? Yeah, this we're technically setting precedents for one game. After Years. That's true. We might see this in future Trails games. I wouldn't know.
Justice must.
Hello, Cab. Magic tracks you. Eh. Well, okay. So, this is technically the second example of this, but it's something I've been chewing on. You see, what if I get a sub from Nordame in the middle of saying something? What do? Do I immediately pause the stream? Alt-tab? Turn on the rain? Do I say thank you, Nordame? And bow to show my physical representation of my gratitude? Do I say out loud that I put it towards Guild Wars 1, Xenoblade 3, Xenoblade X? Do I turn the rain back off and tub back to the game? Do I give the cat scritches? What do I do? The question is, when a game literally copy-pastes a level from a previous game, how do we review that? And, like, the problem is, it's a very, very rare exception. Like, it doesn't happen. As I've been talking about, as we've been talking this out, literally, I can only think of one other game I've ever seen do this. And that game was a very, very low-budget, thrown-together, half-baked sequel game. No, I'm not trying to make a commentary, that's just After Years. After Years really was thrown together. And tried to spit on the canon of all of Final Fantasy while it was at it. But let's just ignore that for a moment. That's unrelated. Yeah, it's kind of a meta problem. And I do try to remove meta problems from the review purposes, because... obvious, right? Like, obviously we get negatives from microtransactions and launches.
That's that then. Let's move out.
And obviously external continuity, and I think that's kind of it as far as meta negatives. Almost every negative is something that's in the game itself, and that's a rule I've been pretty consistent about. Girl who entrusts her feelings to her blade. I don't know who that would be. Is it Julia? Nope. Okay. I won't come back to that, I suppose. I'm sure I'm missing anything here. Ow. Yeah, that's why I bothered to grab that easel. Honestly, being able to fast travel as well as you do in this game is one of the game's better features, and I mean that sincerely. There's a reason fast travel is usually its own quality of life positive, because technically fast travel is a quality of life positive. But it gets its own category because hell yes. Okay, so this is lever G. I don't care about lever G. So this is lever H. It's lever I. Oh, there it is. Oh man, Mook, however will we survive without that all-important immersion? You know what actually grinds my gears about immersion? I myself am actually pretty big on video game immersion. In fact, I have multiple categories of review to qualify for things like immersion. Okay. The thing that irritates me is people who make that kind of argument. Because those people are stupid. I'm just going to say that as bluntly as I can. People who argue that games should be worse so they can be more immersed in it. You know what? If you want to do that in your own types of games over there in a corner a million miles from me, then go for it. But please stop trying to ruin gaming as a whole by insisting that quality of life features are bad. I get really sick of that crowd. You'll forgive me. Well, you don't have to forgive me. So this is I, right? Yes. So it's funny you say that, Rain36. By definition, fast travel actually is from anywhere. If it's from a point to another point, that's actually a different system. It's a waypoint system. Having said that, I do prefer fast travel whenever I can get it. Waypoints can work just fine, and usually are qualifiers for their own positives, but waypoints will never get as many positives. Like, a good waypoint system will never get as many positives as a good fast travel system. If that makes sense. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna run for it. Okay, I ran the wrong way. Perfect, perfect. It's okay, looks like we can't die from it. Yeah, Witcher 3 has a waypoint system. Diablo 2 has a waypoint system. I'm glad I'm not a pirate chest. Those are usually buried underground. Actually, yeah, exactly, Moog. That's a really good way to put that. If graphics are important, I myself have praised graphics. There's a reason people call me Brick Runner, right? Like, I have praised graphics for years. Especially good graphics design. But, games which prioritize graphics at the expense of the game itself, not as big of a fan. That's not a new problem either. That goes back a ways. Boss time. It's Annalise. Okay. And yeah, honestly, you can make fun all you want, Mr. Red. One of the reasons I bang on about grass so much is because, A, I've seen really well-designed grass over the years, but B, really well-designed grass can absolutely make a game more enjoyable. That's the definition of a positive, after all. God, they're just really... Look at them. They're juicing. Okay. Ow. Weak to anything? Actually, they are. Yeah, ditto. Easy games. Who is this? Aw, I'm an idiot. They have a really bad itch, and they don't have time to scratch it. I got their backs. I mean, frankly, yeah, Mr. Red. It is an extremely rare circumstance that I would say that a game has good grass design and not good visual design otherwise, and vice versa. Juggled over here. Jesus. Could you stop bullying her, please? Just 5 seconds. They love that immersion. If I can branch out this topic for a second, I think it's also related to people who insist that the narrative should suffer for the sake of making it more realistic. Let me use a made-up example, because this game actually hasn't done that. So one thing that happens every single time we get a new party member is there's a moment where they have to have everything explained to them, right? And so it's like, hey, here's the situation. Now, a bad game would show us that scene every single scene. And that would great because we, the audience, already know everything they're sharing. They're sharing it for the characters, not for us. The first time, sure. The second time, the third time, and we're up to what? 12 characters now, I think? Something like that. Not a small amount, in other words. It would get old. But I've seen games that would absolutely show that cutscene every time, because that's how the story should be. It's realistic to have them have this reaction to being stuck in this realm every single time. But this is a work of fiction, which is designed to be enjoyed. And therefore, they do not need to show us every single reaction to it. I could use other examples of this. A lot of games like to use, frankly, bad level design because of the fact that it makes sense story-wise, right? Such and such is logical from an in-universe perspective, even if it actually makes the level, the gameplay of the level, worse. That's actually a pretty common thing, in my experience. No prize for guessing who's in this ceiling stone. Yeah, exactly, Easel. Like, you say that hyperbolically, but I've seen games that do exactly that. It makes sense that this area would be this big, empty, open area, so here you go! Thanks, game. Alright, So this is probably going to be Annalise, if I were to guess. That's not what I was expecting to happen. It is. Cuteness is justice. Fortune favors the cute. Keep your friends close and your plushies closer. Smart words from smart people. I don't think Ocean in history has ever said any of those things, especially that last bit. She seems so happy, though. Yep, time to go do another door. I shall sleep alongside her, and together we shall reach the pearled gates of Elysium and cross into paradise with it. If you're up for a nap, that can be arranged. I have a few tricks that can knock you out in no time. I'm sorry, please don't hurt me. Seems she finally woken up. We are turning into quite a crowd, aren't we? Good to see you again, Annalise. Good morning. Have a nice dream? Sure sounded like it. Now see, that's an interesting question, PB Goodfit. Let me come back to that. Tita, Joshua, and Chloe are going to be the pride of my collection. But Julie and that girl over there are pretty cute, too. Huh? What are you talking about? Oh, but Sin's like a big fluffy bear, so he actually kind of nice. Kevin's hair reminds me of a sea urchin, so that's not bad either. I don't know who bought me all these new plushies, but they're the best. She thinks we're life-size tough stuff toys. Man, how drowsy do you have to be? Explain, explain, explain. Aw, there was me thinking I got a bunch of new amazing plushies to add to my collection. Better crush a girl's dreams, guys. Thanks. Sorry for being a human being. Only the real Tita can be that irresistibly cute. You know? So yeah, we're gonna get her in the party immediately. Because door.
Let's go!
I don't know what we're facing, so let's see if we're at least a little bit geared. Eh. So PB Goodfate asked an interesting question before we get stuck in cutscene land again here. MMOs can get clever with this, but I can't think of an MMO that's literally reused a level before. I can think of something that's come close, and that's World of Warcraft. I'll use a specific example, because I like specific examples. The caves underneath Orgrimmar have been used for a grand total of... five, I want to say, different instances or dungeons over the course of the game's career. Now, the thing with that, and this is the critical element, is that each time it's been a pretty different dungeon. Like, flow and interactions and level layout, and of course, obviously enemies, bosses, etc. have been different in every single one of those. So, in that case, as weird as it may sound, it's mostly terrain reuse. Now, I know what you're thinking. What's the difference between terrain reuse and level reuse? Well, it's just different format, really, is what that boils down to. An MMO isn't really the same animal as, say, a Mega Man game. If you use terrain reuse, then that's the bulk of the level design right there, right? Whereas in an MMO, that's mostly just the fluff for the other stuff to be there. So I would actually argue that, for example, Ragefire Chasm is not reused. Now, FF14 does have the hard mode dungeons, but if I'm remembering correctly, most of those are just in the same tile set, not actually literally the same area. I could be wrong about that. Please feel free to check me on that. Like, instead of going left, you go right kind of a deal, right? I may have to pull up FF14 right now. Oh, let me get the timer started. Yeah, the doors structurally are very problematic. Actually, no, Mook. Funny you bring that up. Wait, no, yes. Mage and Priest did. It was actually specific Arcane Mage and Discipline Priest. And... oh, there's one other one. I'm trying to think what it is. Even in lore, they mentioned the other one. Like, because the idea is that both are actually happening at the same time. Like, the Priest and the Mage are both in the Nexus at the same time. In lore. Ah, there's another one. I can't remember what it is. Because then you have, like, say, the Warrior. So, Arms Warrior... no. It's... is it Retribution? No, it has to be Holy. So it's like Holy Paladin, Karzin. You're right, it was the Karzin Grips. Because like Holy Paladin and then Arms Warrior and then Shadow Priest is a perfect example of reusing the terrain, but each time it's a different level, right? And you actually go different depths through the dungeon in each of those things because they literally happen in that order, right? That's the story sequence. But you're right. Karzin Crypts, which is Unholy Death Knight and I want to say Affliction? Yeah, Affliction Warlock and Balanced Druid are completely identical. Like, there's nothing different about that at all. So that is straight up copy-pasted level design. Same thing with Mage and Priest earlier. And that sucks. Negatives. So what we did there, because I can tell you what we did there, we reviewed them once, and then we gave them negatives for the reuse. I'm almost positive. I can actually double check myself on that. Hang on. Hit the stream brakes. Let's look this up here. Let's get the water going. Very important. Here comes the rain again. Come on, there we go. Carson. There it is, right there. And that is a gameplay negative. We did actually give a negative for dungeon reuse in Legion. Yeah, we gave it to Karazhan, and we gave it to the Nexus, right there. Bam. Now, that's a little different because that's one game. But that might be our precedence right there. Precedence. Precedence is a little different. Sounds similar. Does Pokemon do that? So, that's actually an interesting question. Gen 1 to Gen 2 is actually somewhat different when you go to whatever the first area is called. I don't remember the names, don't ask me. I know it's minor stuff, but it is. It is actually a different area. It's the same thing I was just talking about with Ragefire Chasm. Same terrain, but the flow is different, the quest objectives are different, the dialogues are different, the characters are different, the enemies are different, the bosses are different. Even the progression is just a different thing. Whereas a lot of people tend to forget, in Gen 1, you're actually very much on rails for a huge portion of the game, because you can only go through this area, and there's a giant chunk of the game that's chopped off until you can get, like, a drink, I want to say it is, for the thirsty gate guards who absolutely refuse to let you go through, and so on and so on. Gen 2 kind of has a completely different pathing through the area, whereas in Gen 1, you pretty much have to go like this. It is also emptier. I know everyone likes the going back to Kanto. Honestly, I'm kind of not one of those people. Like, I don't know. We'll get there when we get there, I suppose. I wish they'd done more with it, is really what I mean. But anyways. Oh, what's the name of the dungeon we were just in? Valstar Channel. Yeah, it's neat. That's actually a great way to describe it. It's not a big deal, one direction or the other. It's just neat. It's like, oh, that's cool. It's like a gimmick, you know? Okay. Back to the game. Interesting. That's a surprise. Annalise. Oh, Lubrin. I need to restart the timer. Is something the matter? It's not like you to walk up to the second floor without even looking at the board and sit quietly like this. You're not feeling sick from eating too much ice cream or something, are you? Don't be silly, I'm not a kid anymore, you know. Could have fooled me. I swear you were the one who ate 3 full scoops first thing one morning, and later had to go get stomach medicine from Spence. You know my memory's playing tricks on me? Let's all pretend that never happened, okay? Besides, that was back when I was a junior bracer. That was forever ago. I learned my lesson after that, I swear. Now, I never have more than 1 scoop each morning. I'm not supposed to have ice cream in the morning at all, you know. Don't matter. We've been doing up all this time anyway. Alright, well, you see, I got a letter from Bad Poppy, who lives a long way away this morning. Really now? He's a swordsman, if I recall, isn't he? Yep, he's an instructor. Real famous among sword practitioners, actually. Yun Kai Fei of 8 Leaves, 1 Blade School. Oh, yeah, that's the one. I was familiar with the name even before meeting you, but surprised to see you were his granddaughter. Didn't he still live here in the barrel? I'm surprised you know about that. Can't say I have any memories of when he was here, though. I was around when I was born. How could I? Not long ago. Sick. How's he doing? Well, judging by his letter, yeah, he's doing fine. I haven't had the chance to meet him in person for about a year now. Last time we had the chance to spar, I felt like he was totally babying me. Even though he's like 70. He must be really skilled to be treating an active bracer that way. What's with this sudden serious face? Oh, it's nothing all major, but I'm wondering something for a while now. Why do you stay here when you could join him? Sorry, I'm lost. I'm lost. Sorry, I'm lost. I don't know how to read that. Well, it's just you're aiming to improve your swordsmanship, aren't you? Feels like you have a grandfather like that. Fastest way to go with him. Polish your skills. That's, I suppose it's not my place to tell you what you may or may not be best for you. Sorry, you didn't pay any attention to an old man like me. No, that's not true at all. I really appreciate your advice. Please don't think it's not your place to give it. I don't see where you're coming from on this. I do have my reasons for being here. Just a little difficult to explain. I do want to learn more about swordsmanship and swords in general. So in that sense, you're right, and continuing to train under Papi would be both best and fastest course of action. That's not all I want to do with my life. I want at least as much, if not more, to know what it means to be a bracer. It's a case of wanting to learn more about swordsmanship as a bracer rather than being a swordsman, if that makes sense. Have you been doing a good job explaining this? No. No, I think I see where you're coming from, actually. Besides, Papi once told me he taught me all the technical side of sword. Okay, hang on. Pause the timer. Can I stop reading all this out loud? This is a serious request. I'm not joking, I'm not jossing. If something worthwhile pops up, I will make a point of reading it out loud. But everything that's just been conveyed so far is just some dry exposition of the fact that she's the granddaughter of some legendary swordsman and has decided to stay here because she would rather be a bracer than a swordsman, and that's it. This is Tolkien on marijuana. I also actually need to AFK really quick to help my throat. My throat does not like how much I've been reading today, so I'll be right back. Apologies. Okay, so... Okay, so the letter told her to go see Cassius Bright. Papi was invited by the Royal Army to be a guest instructor at some point long ago. Which is when he trained Cassius. And yeah, I know, right? And so her grandfather wants her to ask Cassius what it's going to take to get Cassius to take up the sword again. I mean, I can guess the answer there is going to be no. Meanwhile, she has to go just do 5 monster extermination quests in order to get the time off to go do that. 3 days later. I'm not sure exactly when this is, too. That's the funny part. Okay, so Brigadier General means this is after the first game. They have a new line of stuffed toys in Grandson. The bear, the crocodile. They're being pretty polite, actually. Which makes sense. Most of the army guys in Light Barrel are actually pretty legit. What if that's going to be true when we get to Erebonia? Or Crossbell, for that matter. Or Calvard. The former, Mook. Decent people. Okay, this is definitely after the beginning of SC because she just mentioned her rivalry with Estelle. I love how he's like, yes, I am an acquaintance of your grandfather's. He taught me the way of the sword. This is something they showed 2 scenes ago, as a reminder. Happy still laments the fact that you left behind the path of the sword. That's why he wrote me when he heard you'd return to the army. He wondered whether you returned to the military may mean you were also ready to pick up the sword again. So this is it. He'd like to know, directly from you, how you feel. It's a great honor that after so many years he still cares about an inexperienced and utterly lacking swordsman like me. Yet I'm still afraid my answer is I have no intention of taking up the blade again. Can I ask you why? You certainly can, but I'm not sure how to put my answer. It's always been on my mind, too. I've always wondered what would prompt someone so skilled with a sword, and they gained the title... Okay, hang on. This sentence. I've always wondered what would prompt someone so skilled with a sword that they even gained the title Divine Blade to leave it all behind. Woof! Punctuation. I don't mean to make light of your skill with your staff or say it's inferior. Nothing like that. It's just hard to wrap my head around why you did what you did. And there's a little part of me that can't accept it either. Especially now that you've returned to the army, why can't you return to being a swordsman? Unless you believe the staff is stronger than the sword after all. No, not at all. I just believe a staff is a more fitting weapon for me as I am now. I think you're right, Easel. Considering this is Xseed's very last localization, right? I think, like in real life terms. Again, this is 2017. This is way down the line. You say that as if all swords are good for cutting and killing. It's not true. I fight because I want to protect things. As a swordsman, as a bracer, as myself. You telling me the swordsmanship Pappy taught me isn't going to let me do that? I'm sorry, I didn't ask you to take your time today so I could come and shout at you. I can't accept what you're saying. Up to all what happened here in Liberal, I never felt any doubt that swordsmanship was the right path for me. In the end, all what happened just served to remind me of how powerless I really am. Oh, ow. Easel games. Yeah, that's... ouch. Now I feel like no matter how hard I try, I'll always be a rookie. I'm not going to do what I want to do. Perhaps this is fate. I see Master Cafe hasn't changed one bit. He's the same firecracker he always was. I'm afraid as I am not able to answer the questions you're asking me, but I know someone else who can. Hey, Mr. Floyd, again. Cut to gunshots. You'll answer to Hades! Ah! What's he planning to do out here? What do we call it? It's probably going to be Julia, right? Oh, PS3 games. Ugh. Oh, Richard. I actually wasn't expecting that. I realize this may sound silly coming from a man wearing this uniform, but I am no longer a colonel, young lady. Is that just a running gag? So, Mr. Richard, then? Or Alan? You can call me whatever you wish. No need for the Mr. You know, I believe you are Anna Lay, senior bracer with the Guild. Me? I'm not the former commander of the Intelligence Division for nothing. I know all about all the braces in this country. How'd you end up being here? Actually, Richards was who I was meeting just before I spoke with you. In short, I've decided to start up a new research company as a civilian. So while I may not be part of the army anymore, I can see myself continuing to need to work with it in the future. So I decided to come here to discuss the matter with Cassius in the hopes of maintaining a good relationship between us in the future. Wait, is the person you mentioned earlier? That's right. I want the two of you to fight one another. Wait a second, this is all a bit sudden, isn't it? Especially when I'm going to be fighting the famous Colonel Richard. Not so. You don't want to know the answer to the question you asked me earlier, then? I believe any doubts you have towards swordsmanship can only be dispelled through using it. Focus not on whether you want to win or lose, but in pouring all you have into battle. Swords can hurt people. You know that, right? Japan, like you're aware. In normal life, when you get cut with a sword, that tends to cause problems. Swords are actually devastating weapons if you think about it. It's not every day one has the chance to test their skills against a relative of the Eight Leaves School's founder. I'm sure glad I basically didn't equip her up at all. Okay. He is, of course, weak to nothing. Hello, cat. Yeah, I was kind of hoping I could increase my speed, but it looks like I cannot.
Think you're clever?
Cool. Okay, that's way less damage than I was hoping for. See, it's a practice tool because he just jabbed her in the chest like 20 times with a sword. It's fine. Hi, Sean. Aren't you happy, Sean? EA is functionally dead and defunct now. No more Mass Effect ever again.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah!
Yeah, ditto. PB good fate. I did it. Looks like my skills have a lot of room for improvement. Alright, I've just decided. Sheath your blades. Honestly, I've done an analysis on the fight in Princess Bride. First of all, it's really, really well choreographed, as almost every fight in that game is. But second, and more importantly, it's very obvious. I mean, okay, obviously the two people fighting are not trying to kill each other because they're actors on stage. But no, like, really, their fighting style is very clearly just playing around and showing off. And that's on purpose. That's not just the Errol Flynn thing. They literally, both characters, have no interest in killing each other. It's not until the very end when the Dread Pirates Roberts actually gets a bit of an advantage over him. The other guy just submits instantly. It's like, just kill me quickly. Like, he's actually shocked that it went that way. And of course, Dread Pirates Roberts' response is perfect. I would sort of destroy a stained glass window to kill you. So how does swordsmanship appear to you? Well, he fights using the 8-leaf school's 5th form, Morning Moon. Made a few changes to the standard form, but it's largely a style based on sword drawing techniques. Well, okay, I noticed a bit more than technical details like that. Oh, what did you notice? One thing I realized while fighting him, Richard swings his sword as if perfectly synchronized to my breathing. I've never heard of it, Traxie. The second I go on the offensive, he reacts without fail. In that sense, it feels like his swordsmanship is much more defensive than offensive, I suppose. Defensive stats matches perfectly with the form he uses. The result is very natural, very powerful swordsmanship. What I can't work out is why you're so focused on fighting defensively to begin with. I mean, I assume it's because you want to protect something, but what? Annalise. Yes? I will the sword, but for one single reason. The reason is to protect this country. I'm the ultra-nationalist. Bragga, 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 bragga. Kill everyone! Sorry. Everyone at least has something they wish to protect in this world. Not that as a person, such as their family or loved ones. Maybe it's a belief or ideology that they hold dear. But just as the things we seek to protect are different, so too are the ways we choose to do it. In my case, I chose to protect what I care about, what happens to perfectly suit the defensive swordsmanship you noticed. I can only imagine how comical it would sound to hear a criminal who threatened this nation to talk about wanting to protect it. Please don't say anything, General. Her Majesty may have chosen to pardon me for what I did, but that doesn't make this crime simply disappear. Still, just as your desire to protect Libero remained even after leaving the army, I can't completely turn my back on it. It was so that I could do so. These sentences. It was so that I could do so that I resolved to leave the army, even. Okay, I'm sorry. I've been letting this go for a while now. I'm gonna remove a positive here. Because there's a lot of stumbling in the localization. And honestly, I think Isla Games is right. I think they were kind of sick of it, you know? I think they were ready to just get on with it. From a real-life perspective, from a localizer's perspective. Let's look at that sentence right there, okay? It was so that I could do so that I resolved to leave the army, even. That's not a great sentence. I'm not even sure where to start to really dissecting that. Yeah, that's barely a sentence. That's just... Okay, hold up. It was... It was with this resolve that I left the army. Could be one direction you take it. Or it was this resolve I took with me when I left the army. Right? Like, both of those would kind of work a little bit better. But like this, I'm actually having trouble understanding exactly what they're going for here. Because if you're paying attention, both sentences I just said actually mean something differently. Because it changes the topic. It changes the focus of the sentence. In this case, it was so that I could do so that I resolved to leave the army, even. Yeah, the even is a real weird stumbling block at the end there. Yeah, the problem is, I think in this exact sentence, leave is supposed to be the topic. That's the focus. I'm using the wrong terminology. It's been a while, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Sentences have, English sentences, have a focal point, and the rest of the sentence rotates around the focal point, right? So, everything else is about, you know, what are you verbing? Leave is the verb, right? It was with resolve that I left. It was because of this that I resolved to leave. What did I leave? I left the army. So you see what I mean? It's all revolving around leaving, but it doesn't work that way. Yeah, and like, this if you really, really want to keep the even in there, you could say, this was even the reason I resolved to leave the army, which would flow a lot more smoother, instead of whatever this is. I'm sorry for taking so much time on this, but this is just one example of like 20 I've seen today, where the sentences are a little off. You probably have noticed as I've been reading these out loud that I've been stumbling a bit. It's because it's hard to read some of this stuff out loud. Forgive me. To me, one's position in life is just a means to an end, a way in which to achieve whatever you wish to do. I think it's true for one's choice of a weapon as well, wouldn't you agree? What's important isn't what weapon you choose, but what you use it to do, what inspires you to take it up and use it to fight. That's another thing. I've noticed a lot of the localization is far, far flatter than it used to be. I hate to overpraise, but second chapter legitimately had really good localization, like really solid dialects and tonal changes. Like in many cases, I could tell who was talking just because of the way that the words were written on the page, right? It was good stuff. And this feels a lot more letter translated, technical translated, right? Where you get the translation chakong, and then you're done. Because anybody who's done localization knows that like getting the text translated is like step 2 of like 8, right? Anyways, the reason I chose to put my sword aside and take up the staff is those feelings had changed. That's all. So analyze any more thoughts. This is just use my sword in the way it best fits me to do what I want, and that's to skewer cute things. Yeah, exactly, Mace. Like, I'm not going to give a negative to localization. I've seen what negatives to localization look like. But I don't think I'm going to give any positives for this one. She's going to go answer to her grandfather. I've already inherited the way of the sword itself from you. It's only right that someone else should inherit that. Well, that's settled. Will you accept this, Annalise? Sure. The genius. It's a blade I want to use myself. I think I'd be much happier in the hands of an active practitioner than my own. It's like I couldn't possibly accept this. Surely if anyone should have taken this, you'd be Richard. Perhaps on the surface, but how things are on the surface is not what is always most important. I thought you just learned that fact. After the lessons I learned earlier that I did this. There's no need to think so seriously about this, Alex. All you need to do is take up the blade and use it to do what you want to do in the way you choose to do it. Stabby, stabby! That's all anyone expects of you. If you insist, I'll be happy to accept it. I feel I've learned a lot today from the opportunity to have to face off against him. I hope I'll have the chance again one day. When I become pure evil. Do you want to become pure evil, kid? Yeah, you know that wasn't the end of the scene. So, Pappy, I'll bet you know it all along. It looks like Cassius has no intentions of taking up the way of the sword ever again. Thanks to seeing him, I end up being given a chance to re-examine my own swordsmanship. Up until now, I thought it was all about getting stronger, faster. With more power, I'll be able to wield my will upon the galaxy entire. Sorry. I feel now I finally understand why I was never able to defeat you, no matter how many times we fought. I might not be the best student in the world, but I'll keep giving my training all I've got. Of Annalise. And is it over? Is it over? Is it over? Okay. 22 minutes. Oof. And we pulled a sword out from our memories of the past. Somehow. Don't ask questions. That is a really nice sword, too. That is an insanely good sword. That's plus 500 strength over what we have right now. Plus magic attack, plus magic defense, plus speed, plus dexterity, plus agility. Yikes. It is the second shortest cutscene we've had so far, Diligent. The shortest was the 16-minute one. I thought the Tita one would be the long one. Did I know? Here. Actually, you know what I really should do? Yeah, Tita's is just awful. It really, like, I'm kind of asterisking a little bit because the Chloe one wasn't really one uninterruptible cutscene. There were several long uninterrupted sequences of cutscenes during that. But overall, there were still some moments of gameplay and like pseudo puzzle solving and blah blah blah. And that was whatever.
Take it.
The Tita one was one uninterrupted cutscene. Oh god, I'm honestly kind of dreading the Oliver. For now... Oh, there's a part 2. Kill me. Kill me, Crumpets. Oh my god, that's gonna drive me bonkers. Hang on, I have an itch in a really weird spot. Like right under my shoulder blade. Will this fit? Will this reach? Okay. Yeah, I don't have my back scratcher because, you know, my back scratcher's in storage like everything else. Wow, this forest is beautiful. Beautiful, yes, yes. Evil laughter. I like this. Yes? What? Why are you in my lap? What's up? What's up? Do you want to come further up? You don't have to. It's up to you. Okay. It's always pretty, but don't you think it's odd? The leaves of coniferous trees don't usually turn orange, do they? Most don't, but there are some varieties that lose their leaves in the fall, for sure. Can't remember their names now. Reese would know better than me, but... Like, the trees in the lodge are the same variety, aren't they? Those are still green, too. Yeah. First guess might have been wrong, but there's something definitely off. Definitely something off here. I mean, we earlier had a sewer level with lava in it. I think we're fine, dude. Save us from these treasure chest messages. We're out of ideas. I feel so bad for these poor people. I do. Blue Moomer.
Justice
What the
is
hell is a Moomer? Do I want to know the answer to that question? Girl who shines like the sun, and the boy who cherishes that light be at her side. So, Joshua and Estelle. Joshua's actually in the party right now. Estelle, that's a good question. We haven't recruited her yet.
justice is
Yeah, can't you tell by the frilly dress he's in? Just look for the prettiest boy around.
for the sake of
Yeah, honestly, I'm kind of with you on that, Easel. It feels like they're experimenting, if you wanted me to give a judgment on the matter. Ooh, HP 4. Yeah, I've noticed the random guard one show up several times, and it's like, really? Like, all that really does is slow me down. Hey, Evo. They're juicing. Look at them. Okay, I didn't mean to make fun of you there, buddy. Calm down.
Justice must...
We do have Analase now. You know, I'm worth a hell of a lot more than Sepith and a lousy trinket you just took. Are you? Yeah, calm down, buddy. That might be worth doing.
Let's do this!
That was probably worth doing. I hope whatever boss I'm about to fight doesn't punish me for not having CP now. My main DPSer. It's an interesting attack from a were-rat.
Justice must always prevail.
Well, that's a decent amount of experience. It's a nice chunk of Sepith. Ah, where was it? It was like right here. You found a plank of wood, but it seems to be nailed down. Yeah, no kidding. Considering how many people you have to gear up.
Yeah! Alright, what's... Yeah!
Justice must...
Oh, yes, I do, Easel. I remember getting single-digit Sepith from enemies. Please don't be Gilbert again. Please don't be Gilbert again. Please don't be Gilbert again. You know, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that Ultros, who is a comic relief character in Final Fantasy VI, shows up a grand total of 4 times in the whole game. We're past that already with Gilbert. Just in this game. Never mind the previous one. Let me get my Gilbert voice going. I didn't mean any harm. I swear. I'll never do anything like that ever, ever, ever again. Please, please spare my pitiful life. The goddess just loves bringing us together, huh? I'm saved. My saviors, please help me. Do we even have a choice? I don't want his death on my conscience anymore, do you? So, no, not really. I was gonna say, we can kill the enemies and then leave him there.
Alright, what's next?
Let me go ahead and add a 5 to this, because I've been keeping track of how many times we've interacted with him. It was terrifying. Are you supposed to be part of Ouroboros? Aren't you supposed to be part of Ouroboros? How do you keep getting yourselves into these messes? It was so rude. I didn't end up in this situation because of my own error. It was a result of a tale so tragic. Anyone who heard it would be moved to tears. Is that a bet? How'd you even get here ahead of us? That's a good question. Did you get through the second and third planes warp circles before somehow? After parting ways with you at the castle, I found myself surrounded by armored knights. Naturally, I fought back with all my skill and grace that I'm known for. But during the fight, I was engulfed in some kind of strange vortex. Next thing I knew, I was in front of a building near a cliff. It's a miracle. Clearly, I have been chosen by Aidios herself to be the hero of a new story. Kevin, you think? Yeah, sounds like you end up getting drawn into one of those vortexes that pop up in battle. Damn, though. Ending all the way here on a fourth plane just because that's some luck. Lost for words, I see. Not that I can blame you for being in awe of my good fortune. Oh, we're in awe, right? Anyway, you said you ended up in front of the lodge. How'd you get all the way down here? Did you start looking around? And this time, you're the one with the good question. You were saying things like, I didn't mean any harm, and I'll never do anything like that again. What was that about? Whatever do you mean? I have absolutely no idea. What did you say something? It was merely a result of me being relieved to finally be out of mortal danger. I think I know what happened now. You were so hungry you went and tried to grab the beastman's food, huh? I don't think you really have any reason to feel shame, though. Everyone needs to eat. You can sympathize with your plight. Careless actions only succeed in making the situation worse. Gilbert, do you want to come back to our base with us? No. No. Save your pity. I was able to steal at least a month's worth of supply from them already. I'm not going to need any more for quite a while. Yeah, I'd say it'll last you at least a day at your pace. It's all mine, and mine only. I would give you so much as a crumb. You realize we just told you we have plenty of food and water, right? Right? Right. Is he planning on staying here for over a month? Who knows? All we can do is leave him to his own devices. I'd be surprised if he changed his mind. Yeah, I'll have to be ready to give him a warm welcome when he does. Yep. We'll rip off one arm. And we'll let him recover from that one for a second. Ask him if he's okay. And when he stops blubbering, we'll rip off his other arm. God, Mr. Red. You know, I know it's mostly a gameplay thing, but I'm amused at the thought of all these randos are being level 150. You know, by the end of the game. Because then we'll get to, like, Cold Steel or Crossbow. It's like, what do you start at? Level 1. Probably. Hey, Evo. The first step towards beating kleptomania is admitting there's a problem. Not quite, Blade Javal. I do think the situation is different enough to warrant it. I mean, we're clearly not fighting bandits or were-rats or whatever. We're in hell. Or whatever the local equivalent is. Yeah, Annalise, I've got a use for your sword. It's right here.
For the sake of my...
Kidney daggers. I hope my contents were speedrun worthy. That's an interesting question. Do you think speedruns actually bothered to get that particular treasure chest? It is a Joshua weapon. Shira. Shira? I don't remember. Yes, I need Shira's comforting warmth back in camp. Yeah, we've got a tree that provides basically infinite wine. And they cast Confuse. Of course they do. Look, some things are... Oh, they also blind. Blind and confused. That's a fun combo. Okay, that sucks. Yeah, especially not knowing what's coming. Any status effect fight, if you don't know what the status effects are walking into it, can be fun. God. Yeah, Tactics likes to pull that trick, too. Good comparison point. Alright, sure. I'm sorry to do this. But you've injured too many livers in your time. As soon as I get rid of these frickin' Birdmans. Birdmen? Birdmanias. I'll workshop it. And of course she's immune to wind. No shot there. I have not heard the word. Get to it now.
That's that then. Let's move out.
A lot of wind materia, or quartz. Odd. 3 games in, I'm still calling it materia. Do they use quartz in future games? I should be able to set Shira free too. Speaking of 4 Heroes of Light, we were just talking about that recently. And someone was ignoring me completely. Sorry. Let's go get the drunkard back in the party. Thank you, Sevicon. Yes? What? Scritches. What's up? What do you want? What do you want? You look like you want something. Hi? Hello? Hey. I don't know how much of this you can see. I don't know. I know it doesn't go down very far. Kind of by nature of just the weird desk setup I've got going on here. I know. Now he's making biscuits on my leg. Whoa, whoa, here, let me help you out. Let me help you out. There you go. Ah. Why are you farming Lotro points? How would you do this, Mr. Red? That's going towards 4 Heroes of Light. Platformers. It's done. Thank you again. Listen, that new Lord of the Rings game is totally going to be good. Oh man, that's so worthwhile. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to say that like that. But let me be much more honest. That's a terrible waste of your time. If you want to take a break, take a break. But like, play something fun, you know? There's ways to turn off your brain without just mulching. Oh yeah, firm games are the best. So that reminds me, is anyone bored and feel like helping me with something really quick? It's a quick thing. I just want to check something. That's not Shira. Why? She cut her hair, huh? Yeah, about a month or so ago. Got herself some new duds, huh? Too. This isn't like me at all. I haven't had anywhere near enough to drink to start feeling this out of whack. There's no stopping me now. Pour me another Anna. Tonight we're going to settle this once and for... Yeah. Nice to see you, Shira. Shasha? What have you been back for? What happened to Estelle? Did you just put on some muscle for you? You look stronger. Thanks, I'm happy to hear that. Be it as it may, I can't believe you still haven't commented on my presence. How could you disregard your dear Olivier Lindheim, your loyal servant, the man who forever holds the key to your heart? Olivier, wait, you're not the only familiar faces here. Yeah, welcome to hell, or I guess Gehenna? I don't know. Wait, no. This isn't Gehenna, excuse me. This is Phantasma, which I know what it is even less. So what I need is somebody to tell me how many hours total it would be if we combined Dead Space 1, every Command & Conquer game on the list, Dragon Age 4, there's one I'm missing. What's the other EA game that we've got on the books? I guess KOTOR 1? Kind of easel. Admittedly, my concerns are slightly more practical. I'm a little bit worried about availability of games going forwards. And worse, patches. Under ordinary circumstances, I have a pretty hard time believing everything you just said. Yeah. How could you look upon my fair countenance and beautiful locks and not believe I am the one, the only true Olivier? I guess Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor are EA games. I wasn't even thinking about those. That's gonna be a lot of games. That's not a small chunk of game. No, this is normal. It's just there's a company out there right now that's trying to be the new Embracer, which itself was the new THQ, and so forth and so on. Do you know if Agate's ever trained there before? Now you mentioned it. Yes, he has. Cassie supposedly tricked him into going. He was not a fan of the experience. That's about 4 years ago, I think. That's with him and Estelle might be trapped there. Possibly, yeah. They're both fine, I'm certain of it. At any rate, we now have only one of the 3 ordeals remaining. Well, I don't think Shira unlocks anything. Oh no, she does, doesn't she? Okay, Dead Space, Command & Conquer, Jedi Fallen Order, Jedi Fallen Knight, KOTOR 1, Knights of the Old Republic 1, and Dragon Age 4.
Ready?
So, last night, 2 days ago? Time's weird. Blue Wind, I believe, was asking about 4 Heroes of Light. And you probably don't remember this, but I've actually done a video of that. And I remember that game. So I gave my honest opinion of the game. And I was completely ignored. That is an interesting outfit. I'm not sure what I think of that outfit. I like the waist belt thing. 224 hours. Ouch. Thank you, Mr. Red. So, no, KOTOR 2 isn't DA. As it happens. I probably should actually get our 2s going. Nothing else. We don't need to worry about 3s just yet. Let's get a little bit of everything here. Oh, there goes all my Sepith. I got a bunch out of that, so I can't complain. Yeah, but it has more stuff, and he's a mage. The main reason I wanted it is for the, 1 yellow and 1, whatever that is, earth, it looks like. I want his spell list as big as possible, put simply. Yeah, no kidding. He's almost too many, quite honestly. I will never complain. I am a reviewer, like my father before me. Which is funny, because my dad wouldn't give a crap about anything like this. I should know. Make another move? I guess not. I have a hit, but... That'll do. Alright, so I believe we have everyone's favorite thing to do. A door. So we did Tita's. There it is. Dancing with Silver Locks. We did that one. That's Joshua and Estelle. It is easy. Guardian of the Royal Family and the Blade that serves Imperial House. Thought I had that one. Like, I took Julia and Mueller to that. Nothing happened. That's the 100 Battles one, which we did. That's... Oh, God, we could do that one, too, can't we? Because that's, Chloe and Joshua. Who, of course, are not at the party right now.
Right.
Yeah, I mentioned the shame of it, because this would be a really good bit. Quality of life feature to have that kind of cross-referencing right there. So I was just like, aha! Instead of having to do this. So that's probably Agate and Tita. That's, yeah, the one we're going to do in a second. That's... Wait, what? Ah! Ah! So yeah, that's the one we're about to do. That's the one we're going to try later. That's Estelle, and that's... I have no idea what that is. I read everything voraciously as a kid, ran 36. As I think I've mentioned a few times, I learned how to speed read at an extremely young age. Like, 4th grade, right? So I used to read everything, and I mean everything. I didn't really have that much of a preference. Obviously, I liked Star Wars novels, but really there weren't that many at that point in history. So especially not that many good ones. So yeah, I reread the Thrawn trilogy constantly. But past that, I'm not sure I had much in the way of favorites. I was usually just reading whatever new thing I could, either hitting up the library or borrowing whatever Mom had brought home. Breaking news. Special issue, Flying City Falls, the barrel safe one more. Glory to the young bracers. Glory to the 4 heroes of light. This is... I've read this before, on camera. But that's what the newspapers look like, if you're wondering. Poor Dorothy. Wait for me. No more time for waiting. If it takes longer, the banquet's gonna start without us. So hungry. Can't walk another step. I have a horrible feeling I know what's going on. You skipped lunch so you could eat more at the banquet, didn't you? I didn't even eat breakfast. I haven't eaten since yesterday. Ugh. Kids at home, don't do this. Can't move. Carry me. Oh, we're going. There's nowhere going to miss an occasion like this. There's going to be Ideas knows how many famous people. First the agenda, photo of Her Majesty. Then the Crown Princess. Then... Huh? This actually isn't so bad. Shut up, Dorothy. Alright, come here, Evo. Over one shoulder. Let's go. Yeah, don't skip food to make room for more food. I get the logic, but actually all it does is screw with your metabolism and your digestion. Now, you can eat light, or you can eat protein, which is a slow processing thing, so it'll sit there and keep you going a little bit longer. What are you doing? Eating, wait, we got pictures to take. But I do hope you enjoy your time here all the same. I'm sure you're all busy men and women, burdened with a great many responsibilities and concerns. But today I'd like to ask you, cast those aside to rest, relax, and enjoy yourselves. The food on offer is some of the finest in Liberos, so by all means, partake, and take no more. And over in the corner is the chocolate icing. Oh my god, who is that? Who is this? Get this character out of my game. She has no place in a Trails game. I don't know if I could pull off fancy dresses the way she does. You got something to say, mister? Oh, it's nothing. You're just not all that girly most of the time, so it suddenly takes me by surprise when you suddenly are. What do you mean I'm not girly? They've been so busy with helping Liberl back in shape I haven't had time to get back home, but that doesn't mean I don't want to wear a pretty dress or something once in a while, you know. I know. So it's really surprising how much you've grown in the past few weeks. It's been pretty tough running up and down the country so much. You've kept up with ease. Yeah, she's seriously lacking in the sexy department. And I just lost my Australian girlfriend. He's making biscuits on my hand. Your judgments as a bracer are getting more spot on with every decision you make. Fancy dress or not, I think you're a pretty wonderful person. I don't know why it's weird hearing you pile the compliments on so much. But I'm glad things have finally calmed down a bit. Capital might not be entirely the way it was, but it's getting there. I think you could finally afford to take a breather. Oh my god, Evo. Oh, look. Food. Let's see, so we've got chicken, there's that strawberry tart thing. What is... Okay, so... There's bread, right? There's salad, there's chicken, there's tart. What's the other thing? It's like... 3 things of salsa? That's what it looks like. 3 things of salsa in like a basket with blue... with like a blue cloth in it or something. What am I looking at? What would that go with? Because, like, again, salad. So maybe it's dressing? It's a weird way to do dressing. Maybe it's some kind of dip for the bread? Maybe it's the barbecue for the chicken? I don't know. What am I looking at? I'm gonna eat till I barf is an actual line Estelle just said. Send it as a fan mail question. What is this? These are the real questions that real fans need to know. How you doing, Joshua? Still not here with you? Just want to get food. You here for more work than fun? Bingo. Okay, Dorothy said food so she doesn't pass out. Oh, come on. Dorothy. Dorothy. Question to ask. Photos to take. Why are you so mean? Because you didn't eat food for a day. Willfully and knowingly. Meanwhile, down to Estelle, who is, of course, fighting with Josette. So much for scoping out the food. Wait, I detect something. It's a chance to talk to people. I've been looking for you to coming ever since. Ugh, okay, let me think. Maybe the end of the month? That should be okay. Yeah, Twitch just was like, for a second there. I don't even think I lost chat. Mr. Red, yeah! You know what I should do is I should be like, so Mr. What I was trying to... You know the time. Or there's a plan in motion to pull up the library arc from the lake and investigate it. Should we be doing that? Damn you, thank yous. Damn you. See, it's really easy to tell if someone's actually watching or just listening. Because if they're watching, they'd pick up on it immediately. But if they're listening, they're like, oh my god, he just stopped playing the game. Hang on. Where is she? Ah, whatever. Is there enough food? Dude. I mean, true, Easel. Yeah, this is the ending banquet we never got in the second game. I actually noticed the second game ended rather abruptly. Anyone else notice that? Like, there was the ending cinematic. But that was it, right? It just kind of stopped. This scene right here feels like a scene that should have been at the end of 2. Maybelle collapsed from overworking herself the other day. Look, I take naps. You can't look at me like that. I don't want to, I'll admit it, but I at least do it. Mate, I need food. Please go get Dorothy some food. Yeah, exactly, Diligent Dodo. If I was in charge of politics? Oh god, that's a good point. No naps for me. That is the 4th time they've mentioned that Calvert is politically unstable. They actually specifically mentioned extremists and terrorists as a legitimate issue. Which... No, that wasn't a complaint, Easel. I'm just saying. I don't know what they're going to eventually do in Calvert, because Calvert's the most recent one, right? So we won't see Calvert for a long time. So I'm kind of curious how much of that they had planned out all the way back here. Right? Calvert's Daybreak, if I'm remembering correctly. Poor Chloe. Hi, Sieg. Let's get you some food. Your Majesty. I wonder if she knows that he's a survivor of Hamel. A lot of people credit me with the nation's peace and prosperity, but Liberia would be nowhere near as prosperous of a nation without its people. I wasn't the one who allowed us to overcome the recent crisis or the war 10 years ago, and neither was Orbital Technology. I believe it was the will of its people to live. That's what I believe supports our country, now and then. Its will to live, indeed. You're gracious enough to call this country your second home. Knowing your will to live will be another great support for this nation. It's its queen that makes me happier than you can imagine. There was a small tsunami. Really? From something... Okay, I'm just going to let that go. We'll say it magically went through the water without disturbing the waves. In this game, no. Is this the boy you're speaking of earlier? That's correct. This is Joshua. I mean, I said, Mook, I said I was gonna let it go immediately. Because, like, honestly, yeah. There's actually a trope for that. It's called No Endor Holocaust. It refers to when something that happens that really should cause tremendous and terrifying environmental damage and doesn't because nobody ain't got time for that, okay? We got other stuff to do. It's an honor to finally meet you. I'm the resident Erebonian ambassador. Nice to meet you. Tale of how you flew on top of the flying city, all knowing was the last thing you did. Brought me to tears to my eyes. How were you able to participate in an operation that made about your death, casting aside even your girlfriend's objections? I know this. Liberal needs more young men and women like you. What's the Duke been telling him? That's a good question. Yep, Josette was from nobility. I always pictured Erebonian nobles being real stuffy and scary. Maybe there's some cute ones mixed in there. Hey, Joshua. Good to see you guys. You were invited then? Sure was. An invitation just showed up out of nowhere. I imagine our surprise when we saw the thing. No way we turned down some high-class grub, though, so we hurried on over. We should make a courier service. Ignore the fact that we already know about that. See, Evo, this is what happens when you tell a story non-linearly. Kevin? Ah, sup, you're invited too, huh? Makes sense. Having fun? Better be. Take it from me, if you don't make the most of the times like these and eat your heart out, you're gonna regret it later. Thank you much for all you did for me, Kevin. If you hadn't come to Liberal when you did, don't sweat it. I don't get anything special. Glad to see all the side effects are about gone, too. You're looking spiffy. So yeah, forget about owing me or whatever. It's all in the past now. Not sure if I asked this, but are you Joshua? Not gonna be in Liberal for much longer, so this might be the last time we meet for a while. I hope we get the chance to see each other one day. Yeah, I hope so too. Bye, Kevin. We'll see you in your own game. As if that's ever gonna happen. Who would give Kevin his own game? Might as well give Tita her own game. Or Agate. Or Olivier. Could you imagine a whole game where you play as Olivert? That is one hell of a run-on sentence, Czar. In fact, it looks like you actually asked me 2 questions there? Hang on. Let me read all this really quick. Chutney. Hang on. It is 2 questions. I was right. Sometimes the first question. Yes. I'm sorry. The main character of Oblivion doesn't get any story positives. Because there is no story there, right? But most JRPGs, the overwhelming majority, have your main character as being a pre-established character, such as every Final Fantasy, for example. It's actually more uncommon that you'll have a JRPG where your main character is a complete blank slate, like a Persona. So yeah, no, it's even just basic math. Joker cannot get story positives because he's not a character, right? Cecil can. That's it. That's simplicity. As far as the romantic thing, that's a little bit trickier. I actually do like the ideal of having multiple romance options because what that boils down to is a degree of player choice. It's the same reason you have different party members you bring, right? Or you do certain companion quests or whatever, right? You go with your favorites, and there's nothing really wrong with that. The problem is, in reality land, most games don't actually know how to write more than one romance, or indeed more than 0 romances, and actually make them good. I would say that the exceptions are exactly that, the extreme exceptions. That's true, Von Falkenstein. That's actually a really good point. In Joker's case in particular, it's particularly egregious because there is, let's be honest with ourselves, no real romance in Persona 5. Not really. Like, I'm sorry. Have you ever seen the YouTube edit of the Valentine's Day event that you get with your girlfriend? And each line is said by a different girl because it's the same lines across everybody. Yeah. Figured that'd be the case. Looks like I'm the most fit to be at this party after all. I've been to plenty of high society gatherings wearing poofy dresses. And it makes it sound like I've never worn a dress before. Because I have, for your information. So I don't need to go around trying to convince everyone I'm a boy, unlike some people I can name. Try saying I look like a boy again, see what happens. Look, you two, I appreciate you have your differences, but we're kind of in a really public, really high-class place. So could you take this fight somewhere else? Shut up, Joshua. Oh, sorry. Josette, do not challenge Estelle to a duel. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Persona's kind of its own thing. For obvious reasons. Pokemon's a weird one, actually. I would say Pokemon is primarily a blank slate, but at the same time, not in the same way that we usually think of like with a Western RPG, right? Because like you point out, there you do have a pre-existing life. It just doesn't really inform much of who you are. Gen 3, right? You have your dad, who's the gym leader. You have your mother, who's recently moved to the area, etc., etc. In most of the games, you have some kind of friend and or rival. Gen 6, right? You've got the whole crew of people who are all working with you, and they all reference bits and pieces of their past with you. But yeah, admittedly, the other side of that is the Pokemon main character, like your blank slate character, might as well not be there. There are multiple circumstances where, other than the fact that you happen to be the guy with the club, or the girl with the club, as the case may be, your relevance doesn't exist. Yeah, your Pokemon are there. But you generally aren't. That's actually something that drives me crazy about some games. FF14. Anyways. FF14 has been getting a lot better about that, to be clear. But back in, say, like, the Heavensward era, yeah, you were basically not existent. Who did I talk to? You were able to make it, Richard? Thanks to Brigadier General Bright's generosity, yeah. Processional pardon, blah, blah, blah. We've actually already seen all this. Now that the nation's at peace, I feel this is the time I should be facing up to my crimes, not having them swept under the rug. Yeah, Stormblood was worse about that. Agreed. I have no intention of refusing Her Majesty's kindness or going against her will. I just feel a strong desire to settle things with them myself. That's all. Hello, Amalthea. You really don't deserve to be here. I wouldn't have helped you with your worthless tricks otherwise. I wouldn't think it'd be so hard to accept a thank you. Yeah, seriously. She is still a twat. Stab. I don't remember which expansion it was, but one of my favorite examples of the main character not mattering at all in FF14 is actually over in the Demon arc, I think is the story arc. It's the Alliance Raid series. It starts off on the ship, and then you attack the city, and the city sucks. And the third one, you end up fighting Diabolos, excuse me, at the end. Void Arc. Okay, so that was Heavensward. That is Heavensward. Anyways, I mentioned that specific storyline because we do not exist in that storyline. We generally don't, but at the same time, sometimes there's at least lip service paid to us as the adventurer or the hero or helping out the main character or whatever. But in that story arc, we spend almost every single cutscene just standing over there in the corner with our arms folded, nodding, like, mm-hmm. I know the actual story's happening over here, and we're just like, mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. They get better about it later, admittedly, but oof. I don't care for Void Arc. Non-objectively, I'd say it's probably the worst raid series in the entire game. No, I suppose that's not true. I personally dislike the evilly stuff more. Yeah, that's still not true. The evilly stuff is actually really great. It's true, do I like any of the Alliance raids? Now that I'm thinking about it. I liked Endwalkers. You know the one. I do like the gameplay of several of them, unironically. Jokingly, on whatever lane. Aha! Oh, Citizen Joshua. Care to join us for a few drinks? Don't be shy now. The night is only just beginning. I want to see those exquisite amber eyes of yours swim before it comes to a close. I'm good, thanks. I, of course, haven't touched any of the Dawn Trail stuff at all, so I can't speak to that. Say, sure, about Luciola. Silly Joshua, what are you getting worried about her for? You really needn't be. Sure is right, especially not now. We all have our concerns and worries about what happened over the last few weeks and months, but this is not the time to be thinking about them. This is the time to be making merry and drowning in fine drink. Sunset to sunrise. I don't think there's ever a time for not making merry as far as you're concerned. He's got a point, though. Oh, and while I've got a chance to say this, no more going off on your own here. You have no idea how worried Estelle was about after you disappeared. I could barely bring myself to watch her. See, that's the thing. The near ones are good, but also not good. They are too long, and they're also too long in two completely separate ways. Yeah, no, Nier is just... Oh. There are some times when I get the near raids and I will actually bail because I literally do not have time to finish the roulette. Wait, which two? Von Falkenstein. I do not know, Maze. I can't answer that. Yellow? Yes. Oh, yes, they did, Von Falkenstein. I thought you said over the phone you wouldn't attend because you're so swamped. Swamped is an understatement. Transporting goods need to get the country back in order. Make sure everything gets all the utilities it needs. I'm drowning in work. It's gonna take a while before we can say Liberal's back to normal. But Estelle and I certainly didn't expect to find soldiers even in Liberal's smaller villages, so it threw us off to see that much while we were helping where we could. It doesn't give us a surprise if you're the one responsible for it. It took a long way towards helping people feel at ease. It sounds like these are what we gotta do all we can for another. The army's no different. The Erebonian Calvard's internal political situation a mystery to us. The reorganization of the army has to be shelved for now. Still, no matter how busy a man is, everyone needs to kick back once in a while. Make sure you make the most of it tonight. I think you need to kick back more than I do. Estelle's been pretty worried about you, You guys don't need to worry about me. I'm hanging in there. In fact, I'd say I'm taking it too easy. Finally. Sorry. No, this is the victor gathering at the end of the second game. Please give Dorothy some food. I feel too good. My stomach feels like a giant bottle of water. What happens when you drink too much in a short period of time, you idiot? Never mind, we got work to do. Wait. Oh, hey, Chloe. I was wondering why this is your thing. Well, yours and mine. I suppose it's a little exhausting. It's not too bad, though. I've had to do a lot more of them ever since becoming Crown Princess, so I'm starting to get used to them. Correct, Von Falkenstein. I can believe it. Feels like I've been seeing your face in all kinds of papers and magazines lately. I think anyone would learn to adjust after a while. No, it won't be too long before it starts to die down, so just hang in there. All you can really do is grin and bear it till then. I know, it's exactly what I intend to do. I swore to myself I would do all I could to help protect this country's people. Accepting a few interviews here and there is an easy part. You really are strong. I'm not so sure about that. I still feel as if I'm doubting myself a lot of the time. Like I just have to keep going out of my comfort zone, feeling reckless with every push. Maybe so. It doesn't change the fact that you're strong. To me, anyways. Remember the strength you showed trying to protect Clem when we first met, too. Thank you. I never forgot about that. That'll be this time after all. Can I have a little of your time? I've got something I want to say to you. Okay. A young man about the same age talking to the Crown Princess in private is absolutely the kind of thing that would start scandals. So thank goodness Dorothy's busy right now, right? Are they having an eating contest? Oh my god, they're having an eating contest. You got a smile out of me, game. I'll give you that one. So, Chloe, what was it you wanted to tell me? Look, if I've done something to offend you, I'm sorry, right? So those of you who are only listening and not watching, you're probably wondering why I didn't read that out loud, why I just kind of went quiet. And it's because what Chloe just said after several dots of hesitation was, I love you, Joshua. Now, keep in mind, this is after the scene where Joshua and Estelle held each other in their arms as they thought they were falling to their death, which was actually a really freaking good scene. So much so I gave it more than one positive. And honestly, the second game did a much better job of the romance and dynamic between Joshua and Estelle. So more positive there. But I bring all that up because Joshua's kind of reached the point where he is now solidified as taken, right? Yeah, exactly. It's a very, 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 very old rule. See, the thing is, for those of you who don't understand the distinction, some people may be with someone, but that doesn't mean they're taken, right? It is, unfortunately, quite common that two people will be together, either as boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, or whatever, and they're not really devoted to each other. They don't really mean it. They're not taken. They just happen to be together. But if you're taken, that's a wall, right? You are not interested. You're not looking. That's why I emphasize this. Joshua is very clearly taken. And Chloe knows that, exactly. So I'm curious where this is going to go. So, I love you, Joshua. What? It's Chloe's just not saying anything. I think she's being a dick. I'm sorry. I'm happy you feel that way, but don't worry. I know exactly how you're going to respond before I say anything. I just felt like I had to get that out before I could start moving on. The sky sure is beautiful tonight, isn't it? How long have you felt that way? Say, Joshua, if you had met me before, Estelle, you think you would have, well... Now this is interesting. Joshua's response is no. I'm pretty sure that never would have happened. Sorry. I told you, don't worry. I can't deny there's a part of me that wants to keep you all to myself. But even if that were possible, I don't think it's what I truly wanted. Because when it comes down to it, I really love both you and Estelle. Not like that. It's partly why I wanted to see that troubled face of yours one last time. Yeah, he didn't even hesitate. It was worth the effort to bring you out, too. It was probably the best expression I've seen to date. You can be kind of a bully sometimes, you know that? Maybe. This feels like the most fun I've had in some time. So, what's in your mind, Joshua? What? I can easily tell you're worried about something. My instincts are quite sharp, or so I'd like to believe. Besides, I was watching you the whole time I was handling the interview earlier. Oh. How am I supposed to take that? Still, you're hiding... Okay. Minor spoiler request, but Pumpernickel. Does Chloe ever hook up with anyone over the course of the series? You don't have to tell me who, but does Chloe ever find someone? Does she ever become taken throughout the course of the franchise? So we don't know, is the answer. Okay. Hello, cat. Are you planning on doing something all on your own again? Your instincts are sharp, alright. It still surprises me from time to time, too, but you're definitely up there. That's just how us girls are. So come on, tell me what's troubling you. It's nothing that major, really. I intend to leave Liberl by the end of the month. Why? The country's finally at peace now. It's exactly why I think this is the right time. Ouroboros seems to have completely withdrawn from the company, and the country, excuse me, from the company. And the restoration efforts are coming along smoothly. Maybe it's about time for me to leave on a journey of my own. It's taken me a long time to get this far, but I've finally been able to start thinking of myself as a person and not a broken doll. I was finally able to achieve the very thing everyone wanted for me. It's been both a good thing and a bad thing. Good in that I finally feel human. Bad in that my heart's been aching in a way it never did before. Broken dolls can look away from all the terrible things they've done, but I can't do that anymore. So I need to go out on this journey around the continent. So I can work towards atoning for all that I've done. I can start embracing the person I now am. The truest word. I may become The Embracer. I see, but if you do that, it means you won't be able to see Estelle for a while. Yeah, I know. Might not even be here for a while. It could be a long time. I'm still not sure how to break it to her either. It's part of that's on my mind right now. You've still got a lot of growing up to do, young man. Yeah. If you ask me, you should just tell her the way that comes most naturally to you. You don't have to write some big speech in your head in advance. Just speak to your heart. You believe in her, don't you? No matter how you phrase it, she'll understand. All you have to do is get those words out there. You owe that much to her if you love her. You know that, right? Yes, I do. I am hopeless, aren't I? You shouldn't have to tell someone something. You shouldn't have to tell me something that obvious. It wouldn't be you if I didn't have to tell you. Plus, the kind of thing's part of why I love you, too. Oh my god, Chloe, stop! Look at her expression! Please stop teasing me. Hee hee. Just remember, it'll be okay. If anyone knows you, it's Estelle. If you ask me, she'll... Joshua... There you are. Look at these. They're Josette's goggles. I took them from her as spoils of war. Glad you were having fun, Estelle? Make sure you give those back to Josette later, okay? Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Tune in to next week's issue to find out. Wait, hold on. Chloe? I suppose it's about time I return to the banquet now. You can have Joshua back now. Sure? Hey, Chloe? I'm not sure how to best put this either, but... Thanks. I'm glad I was able to talk to you like this. Really, I am. You're very welcome. I wish you both a very pleasant night. Oh my god, so in Horizons 2, Estelle's gonna die, and Joshua will run to Chloe in his grief, and Chloe will be like, I'm here for you, as a friend. And you know what happens next. What the heck? Joshua, what'd you two, you know, talk about? Nothing much. She just gave me a bit of much-needed motivation. Oh really? That sure clears things up. It's been 5 years, and Estelle's believed me for every single one. And I believe in her, too. No, it doesn't. What motivation? Estelle, I've got something I need to tell you. Estelle gets cloned. But the clone is secretly evil. How could we get more awkward, Abelbox? Meanwhile, you can hear the engine crying. Seriously, you notice this is set against a JPEG, right? This is all kind of silly because we know he ends up going with her, right? Like, that's a thing that we already know. It's almost like that scene would have worked better if it was the end of the second game. So, I mentioned this earlier to Rax, who I know isn't watching this because they don't want to be spoiled by all this. Oh my god, Kevin's hair. Look at Kevin's hair in the grass. But one of the worst things about this, and I do think this is going to be part of a, maybe not a full capital P problem, but like, leaning that way, is you end the cutscene and then you're just back here. And you notice there's no transition, right? So this is called onboarding and offboarding. Onboarding is exactly what it sounds like. It's the lead in to a story. It can be a gameplay thing, it can be a narrative thing, it can be an aspect of the camera, whatever, right? It's just, oh my god, his hair is all over the floor. But there's something to do to lead into a cutscene. Now, there actually is onboarding. You go into the door, and it says here, I give you this memory, and there's a fade to black, and then there's like an initial thing, and the cutscene starts. But there is no offboarding at all. The cutscene ends, there's a little cutscene over, and then you're just back here. Now, this is already kind of awkward and weird, But what makes it even worse is because no one seems to acknowledge that those events happened, that those memories happened. No one comments on it. No one says, oh, that's what was going on there, or, oh, I understand now, or anything. I know it's weird to ask for more text in this game, but it just feels awkward to go from a cutscene and then just, okay, back to the dungeon. Immediately. No transition. Just weird. Yeah, that's a good question. Did anybody else even see that memory? Did anybody see that memory, period? Was that just for us? Because these are all flashbacks. Yeah, like maybe Chloe should have been like, oh, this is embarrassing. Yeah, imagine if Estelle is in the party when we watched that one. Right, so now we have to do the Shara one. Yeah, see, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think these are literally segregation. I think these don't exist in lore. And it's just, these are flashbacks. It's a codified way to dump tons and tons of flashbacking into the game. Hang on, I need a break before I do my next one. Long too. Oh my god. Listen, Estelle's not here, so we have to make up for her loss. Kevin just really wants to comfort Chloe in her time of need. Yeah, Chloe, Josette, and Estelle. As usual, I'm going to read this at my own pace, because, duh. $90 Oh my god. Here, let's get the timer going. Let's get the timer going. Let's see if we can finish anything today. We've been... I don't know if you guys have noticed this. We have done almost nothing but doors today. The whole day. Both shifts. So this is when... I think this is the first time. Hello, cat. When Olivier was drinking with Ina, or whatever her stupid name is, and Shara. She's right, Shara. Olivier's dead. Got for a while longer. Let me pour another glass then. No! That's right, they pronounce it in the remake. Unintelligible gibberish. I should start calling him Oliver. Now you're clawing at my arm. Why do you claw at my arm? Isn't it funny how they're forcing him to drink against his will? Forced alcoholism is hilarious. Also, Shara is an alcoholic, and it kind of irritates me that they just treat it like it's a joke. Oh god, you're right. It's the Japanese thing, Archbruce, isn't it? Yeah, for those of you not aware, there's a whole subculture dedicated towards drinking with your coworkers and boss in Japan. It's a whole thing. It's one of the biggest reasons I'd never want to work in Japan. Like, I may have the work ethic to hang in Japan, but not the rest of the crap that comes with it. So this is set 5 years after the 100 Days War. I mean, don't mistake me. There are several times in my life where I've become friends with my coworkers, but you don't mandate that, right? You don't have the company picnic and attendance is mandatory, right? You can host a company picnic and see who shows up. Oh, that's Aina. Wow, I didn't even realize. There's only 2 bracers in the entire Grand Cell branch. So in case you missed that, they don't even have someone as a receptionist right now. They just have a box that says, please deposit your request here. So, oh my god. Shira, it just called... Okay, so Aina just said she wanted to come here to request a bracer to give her a tour of the city because she's lost and she's new to the city. Shira said that's a worthless request. Her words, not mine. You seem to be misconstruing what bracers are actually here for. We're not community volunteers, whatever. We have serious profession to do serious work. Also very busy. Oh, hell, just go and look on your own. Getting lost is probably part of the experience anyways. Has this one lived in a box her life? Typical rich girl. Besides, I need to focus on major jobs so I can get my letter of recommendation from this brand so I can get promoted. If you have something serious you need help with, by all means, come back and tell them to get going. I'm sorry I've troubled you, but... Hey, Kurt. What do you have here? Click on a request. I mean, some Japanese offices do absolutely mandate alcohol. Yes, that's a real thing that really happens. But... It's in that little gray area of, oh no, you don't have to go drinking, sake with your boss. By the way, you're fired. Or worse. It's usually worse, actually, in Japan. Parent of mine, she's a waste of time. She seems to have gotten in her head that bracers are friends for hire. Oh hey, the autumn sale just hit. Please don't leave just yet. Shira? Huh? What is it? Do what she wants. Helping people in need is the fundamental mission of the Bracers. You've got no reason not to help. What? But we're busy here. I don't have time to be playing tour guide. I got more important things to do. Don't worry about the other requests. I'll take care of those. You're even busier than I am. You're even a receptionist on top of it. You don't worry about me. Besides, you're a trainee, which means you have much to learn. So go. Once you finish this request, I'll write your letter of recommendation. Sure, seems too simple. I thought it was your policy to give 100% to all the work you undertake. Well, it is. But I'm counting on you with this job, too. Thank you. Think nothing of it. Take care. I appreciate your assistance. Yeah, it's like mandatory overtime here in the States. It usually isn't mandatory because that's illegal. But let's be clear, it's mandatory. Like, you're gonna come in on weekends, right? From delivery girl to playing tour guide for some snooty silver spoon. I do apologize. I really am putting you out with this request, aren't I? Let's just get started. That aloof manner of talking to you just makes me want to smash something. Where do you want to go? I suppose I should go and buy a few things in the department store. In case? It's in the East Block, don't forget. Why would I? I can feel my blood pressure rising already. Me too, Arspruce. Hooray for school life, said nobody ever. Okay, yeah, that's Anton and that's Ricky. They are actually members of Janus. Sorry, they just mentioned they got accepted at the school. Remember, this is 5 years ago. What's really insidious, so let's say you're working a job and something comes up. And it's like, oh god, look, I need you. That was Maybell's father there. Not him, he was talking about Maybell's father. He was, right, so something came up and you have to go cover for them, right? You have to work an extra shift. And that's understandable. That's logical. Sometimes stuff happens and, well, you could use the extra money, so sure, whatever. Oh my god, it's Dorothy. Look, it's young Dorothy. Going through all the lesser-known spots in Grand Cell mentioned in these books was fun for a while, but I've had enough now. Anyways, so you cover, right? That's fine, and there's nothing really wrong with that, especially if you were compensated for it. Here's the problem. Some companies will do this wonderful thing where they will deliberately make sure that they are understaffed. And then they will go ahead and ask people to cover extra shifts because they need them to cover those extra shifts. And it's so understandable, so reasonable, right? Because, you know, it really is someone can't make it and we don't have anyone else. So it's you. Look, it's you. You're the only one. Bragwin, I need you to cover this extra shift, okay? Now, if you don't, well, that's a ready-made excuse to fire you because you're not willing to play ball. The company had to shut down for 8 hours because you refused to come in for the shift. That's their excuse. If you're wondering why they do that, there's actually two big reasons. First is it's a ready-made way to fire anyone pretty much at will if they're in a non-at-will state. Second reason is because they like to churn. There's this common concept where long-term employees are more expensive than short-term employees. That concept is a flagrant lie. And it's actually completely the opposite of that, even just purely financially. So a lot of managers, I've noticed, this is a little bit of out-of-date information. I haven't worked in the workspace in like a decade at this point. But a lot of managers would deliberately engineer these situations to deliberately churn employees, because that way it's cheaper, even though it's actually not. Now, the first thing she wants to do is blow our money. So, what are you planning to buy? Well, I could probably do with restocking and recovery items for one thing. What? I just want this job to end. Hasn't Kurt read this book? Did you bring it here? Oh, these look really complicated, too. The sheriff? What? You know, there's actually a really famous ice cream stall near. You ever been there? Why would I have? I don't like sweet things. Well, I do. I feel like having ice cream right now. Let's go get some. Wait a second. Ah! Drag, drag, drag. Thugs, huh? Ah, thugs make the world go round. Or more accurately, make the world stop. Did your brain design selectively to switch off when I said I don't like squid things? You'll like this, promise, it's really nice. That's not how it works. So no, that means I've only got 24 hours left. I'm running out of time. be risky, but... Hey. What? Why are you spacing out ignoring me for? I was trying to ask you something. I'm sorry. What was it? You look angry. You're hiding something from me, aren't you? It's really obvious. Come on, out with it. Are you involved in something you can't even talk to me about? No, it's just that I realized I left something back at the hotel. As if anyone would buy that. Not gonna talk, huh? Fine. Be that way. Whatever. I'll come with you. I don't think I have ever worked a job in my life that had a union. At all. Never mind a union that was worth a damn. There's a whole other thing. Isn't this the hotel? The building you just walked past? Oh, yes, but... And some castle looks heavily guarded. I should have known. There's gotta be some way to get past. I have worked at one job in my life that was active in union busting. This is actually a while ago. This was back in the 90s. It was an IT company. Well, no, that's wrong. It was an engineering firm. I was working as a graphics designer there. But the IT department was really big on union busting. Like, really big on it. Sack would have been dragged all over the city for. Tell me everything. Maybe catch a breather outside. Huh? Okay. There she is. What? What's going on? Stay where you are. What? Protect all NPCs. Oh my god, is this our first NPC battle of the game? Oh my god, look at our stats. Oh my god. Jesus, Ina. That guy was no amateur. I haven't noticed anything has happened yet, but it looks of it. It's only gonna be a matter of time, though. I need to do something. Look, you, it's time for you to start talking. Who is this guy? I don't think I'm gonna notice anything amiss either. Are you listening to me? Shh, please be quiet. At least now we know she's not on the hotel's guest list. Ah, I figured a rich girl like her would have stayed at the hotel, but I guess not. Just gonna have to start scouring the city. From top to bottom? No, don't shout! Did you hear that? Yeah, it came from over there. The blonde, get her! What's going on? You've got some serious explaining to do, Missy. Let's start running! What the... Wait! Okay. I mean, unions are one of those 1-2 punches, right? To say unions are perfect is nonsense, but they're probably better than the alternative, aka not having a union, right? I've actually heard that argument. Unions tend to be corrupt and tend to have issues. Therefore, we should have no unions at all. AKA, if we can't have perfect, we shouldn't have better. Not a fan of that argument. Oh my god, look at them. Look at them. I think we lost them. Just about. Okay, I've had enough of this. Time for you to open that mouth of yours. Who are these guys? What do they want to catch you? What do you even want? Well... Don't even try to worm your way out of answering this one. I will hurt you. With this. sounds painful. Who's hiding any longer, is there? They're trying to capture me. Thank you, Captain Obvious. I'm asking why they want to capture you. Go on, get with the talking. Start from the beginning. I suppose it started about a month ago. My grandfather, who I was living with, passed away. Your grandfather? Yeah, my grandfather. He mentioned he intended to leave some of his fortune to me. But the will didn't say some. He wrote he intended to leave everything he had to me. So, a super rich guy leaving his fortune to a young girl. Okay, everything's starting to fall into place. So, now every relative you have under the sun is on you like ants trying to get their share. Or at least I think my uncle is still a very nice man. He said he wants to look after me until I turn 20, so as part of that, you should let him look after all the money you've inherited. Unbelievable. His eyes when he said that kind of scared me, so I ended up turning his offer down. Wait, hide. Ah, thugs. Now someone's hired those men to come after me. When I formally inherit his money, grandfather's will becomes invalid, you see. Most likely that's the reason they want to capture me. So I'm not able to do that. They're no ordinary street thugs either. They clearly have some experience with their belts. I believe they're just able to wander the streets of the capital in broad daylight like this. Just what is the army even doing? One of my relatives has connection with the real army, so that's probably why. My family's pretty influential, actually. I'm getting a headache just listening to this. Hiring a bunch of suspicious, highly trained underlings to fight over an inheritance? You don't get more stereotypically spiteful rich person than that. I don't know, we could probably dig that tunnel down a bit more, Shara. I didn't know that, push-ups. I'm sorry. I'm not looking for an apology. Still, this isn't looking good. I might have been able to win the last battle, but I'm not confident I can win another. The best I can do is try to get back to the guild house without getting caught, but I can't see that being easy. Thank God they're just thugs. Imagine if these were Jaegers. Or worse. I have to feed the birds. Sorry, this way's a dead end. You give us a hell of a lot of trouble, but your luck just ran out. You're fast, though. I'll give you that. Now grab her. Oh my god. Should I mention that these people are trying to capture her with guns? Like, is that something I should bring up? Feels like that's something worth bringing up. We need her alive! Baraka, 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 baraka. Although, actually, they probably do. They're totally cool with her being dead. After all, the only thing they need is for her to not formally claim the inheritance. So, all that requires is a body. That is such an insane argument, Braven. I just want to say that really quick. My favorite anecdote about unions was that we got the 40-hour work week out of that. And some people look at me weird when I say that, so I always have to add the second part of that sentence. We got down to the 40-hour work week from that. For those of you who don't know, I think 40 hours is actually too much work in a week. Obviously, it's better than it used to be. Isn't it, Cat? Could you imagine working 40 hours a week every week? Wouldn't that be terrible? Yeah, it'd be terrible. Alright, Miss Sheriff? Have you guys still not caught her? Oh well. Still a chance against us. Almost. Beaten by a bunch of low-life scum like these guys. Do you have any ideas for getting us out of this? Me? Oh, there's an entrance to the sewers nearby. Look, I only work about 70 hours a week. That's way down from what I used to work. Close your eyes for a second. She did literally just go to the store to buy supplies. She even mentioned that. Jeez, Aina. Don't let them get away. Did you even have that thing? What's the point of knocking that guy out, too? Fun. Oh, the sewers are locked. Of course, the bard knows how to... excuse me, the dancer knows how to lockpick. Ow! Too hard. Too hard. Anyway, I'll get it open. Should I use another canisters? I've got pepper ones, too. Pepper? Do you make these things yourself? I've got a few original blends, yes. The original just white smoke grenades. There, for example, there's this one. It's powdered laughing mushrooms. You ever tried it, though? You think it works? Yes, the structure of this game is... bad. The structure of this game is bad. I hesitate to say such a thing, because structure... if I can explain this a little bit. Structure, when it comes to fiction, is a very loose thing, definitions-wise, specifically because there's so many different possible frameworks that a fiction can be made with, right? There's lots and lots and lots and lots of different ways to have good structure, but at the end of the day, there is such a thing as good structure, and there is such a thing as bad structure. And this, like, I said it earlier, and I was kind of being flippant, but honestly, we've been doing doors all day. Really think about that for a second. Think about what that means. We're watching a movie. It's one of the reasons I've been in kind of a bad mood all day. No offense to any of you, and I hope it hasn't been showing too much, is because all I've been doing is reading. All I've been doing the whole day is reading. It's why I stopped. I was like, can I just start going a little bit more at my pace? Because, yeah, it's just, It's not like... yeah. Kennex Cow. So Xenogears Disc 2 is a little bit different from this, because Xenogears Disc 2 has an interesting structure to it, which isn't perfect, but still nevertheless works. Cutscene, cutscene, boss. Cutscene, cutscene, boss. Cutscene, dungeon, boss. You notice that there's this pattern to that, right? This is cutscene, 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 cutscene. Cutscene, 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 walk around for a bit. Cutscene, cutscene, walk around for a bit. Cutscene, cutscene, walk around for a bit. Cutscene, 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 cutscene. That's not structure. Right? That's not, there's no pattern there. We did have a couple of bosses, and what's really frustrating is some of the bosses in this game are actually really good. Like, I unironically think the best bosses I've seen in the franchise so far, keeping in mind I don't remember Cold Steel 1, are in this game. And yet it's just, it doesn't want to give them to me. Cutscene, 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 cutscene. Oh my gosh. And so, a Gilbert, 5 iterations of Gilbert. If you wonder why I write down stuff like that, you know I'm against vibes, right? I'm not a big fan of vibes. Humans are too big on vibes. I like data. I like concrete information. I could say there's too much Gilbert in this game, or I could say we've had 5 distinct cutscenes devoted to Gilbert. One of those is a vibe. One of those is a fact. I like having that kind of information to showcase things. You know, earlier we had a 91-minute cutscene. It wasn't even a bad cutscene. It was just a 91-minute cutscene with a couple of moments where we could walk around a little bit. If you want to discount that as a solid cutscene, that's fine. Earlier than that, we had a 44-minute cutscene, which there was no interaction with whatsoever. Not even, like, the hints of pausing or saving or gameplay. Just dialogue. 44 minutes. Oh. Are the cutscenes skippable? So that's an interesting question. anybody who's been paying attention to the reviews so far has noticed that I have not given the unskippable cutscene negative to the game. I've chewed on that for quite a while, and I think we have a bit of precedence for this in previous games like Dragon Age Origins, and I think this will become relevant again when we come to Final Fantasy IV and VI, because those games don't have like a skip cutscene button, but what they do have is rapid firing, right? Planescape Torment had this as well, if you're paying attention. You could just through cutscenes in all of those games, right? They give you the tools to functionally skip the cutscenes. And yeah, a lot of visual novels have this, just skip to the next line thing kind of thing, right? So that is, in every way that counts, skippable cutscenes. But 44 minutes. I think this is the first game of the franchise which has effectively unskippable cutscenes, because it's just such absolutely gargantuan heaps of death. And in several cases, there actually are some boss fights involved, or combat involved, like we just did a few seconds ago. And so imagine being like, going through this your second time and just holding down fast forward and being like, come on. Come on. Come on. Right? Anyways, I'm going to type up all these thoughts later. Let's see if we can at least get through this book before we go any, before we end for the night. So they're bringing an axe to take down the door. They also cussed. What are you thinking? What kind of insane maniac uses a smoke grenade or mustard gas canister or whatever it was? No, Playtable, absolutely not. Shouldn't be making that kind of stuff. I thought you were a high-class lady. And who killed my bot? It was Melkor Blade. Melkor Blade killed the bot. Actually, yeah, because we know they're making a remake of 2. That's been confirmed. Are they going to remake 3? And yeah, if so, how? Because if they're just going to copy-paste, then, oh my god. Imagine all these but voiced. And slower. Where'd you even learn to make those things? My grandfather loves collecting books. I take you're not much of a book enthusiast yourself, so you probably wouldn't have read anything as I have. But there's a famous spy novel it's reading. She learned from a book. I take it back. Miss Rich is written all over her naive face. Yeah, think about that 91-minute... Think about the Chloe cutscene and how long you think that'll be in a remake, right? Like, I'm actually legitimately curious. I'm going to put a thing in the back of my brain to someday find out just that one factoid. In fact, I'm going to jot it down in the review so it becomes a part of history. Just going to put that there so I can remember to jot it down later. That's a years from now thing, so I gotta put that in the review, so I have some kind of record of it. Being in a series like this always brings back unpleasant memories. Aw, poor Shara. Feels like my instincts are coming right back, though. Let's move. When they come back, they'll get that door open in no time. Be careful and stay close to me. There's bound to be monsters here. So, about that repeat dungeon thing we were just talking about. Are there even mobs down here? Okay. Oh my god, I have to go through this. I mean, they're all like one-shottable, but seriously. I have known nothing. Wait, what I said about what? About feeding the cat? Did I ever feed the poor, desperate cat who desperately needs food and has never been fed before in his life? Oh, so I guess you missed it. I went back and checked, and we already gave a negative for that. Wow. And if I'm not going to hold back on a negative to wow. Yep, there will never be any food ever again. I don't know where I'm going. And this is the Grand Cell Sewers, which is technically 3 dungeons, and they're all very large. I mean, everything's case by case. But I do legitimately think that the dungeon reuse in this game isn't great. Mostly because they're not doing anything with it. You know what I mean? It really is just, here's the same dungeon again. And this is the 3rd time they've done that, actually. I don't know, the secret switch is there, so I can't use it. That's actually funny. Again, it's extremely you missed the discussion, Retro Justice. It's very unprecedented. Although Savicom will hate me for saying this. There's nothing wrong with liking chest. I like chest. Sorry, for those of you just listening, that chest just said, "So I heard you like chests, you pervert." We were talking about dungeon reuse, like literal straight up dungeon copy pasting or level copy pasting, and it's so extremely rare. The only exception to that I could even think of was After Years. And I realized we're going to have to establish some precedents here for when we get to After Years. In what way is anything in this situation romantic? Uh-oh. Yeah, they did some asset reuse in SC, but again, execution matters, right? In almost every case in the second game, it was pretty well done. I think it's been frozen for a while, Salvatron, but let's be honest. Since I have I've never said this out loud, I have a desire to knock out several franchises, long-term, obviously. I'm even going to add a franchise poll at some point in the future. Obviously, Final Fantasy is one of them, and After Years counts, so here we are. Besides, I've only played After Years once. So who knows? The entire town smelled like a rotting open drain and was reviled even for a slum. The people ended up here. Are we seriously having a flashback in a flashback? Is this actually a thing that's really happening? Don't listen to me about After Years. I only played it the once, and honestly, I hated what it did with the greater lore of Final Fantasy, and that really tainted my opinion of the game. So I am hesitant to give a more thorough opinion of it until I actually sit down and review it, right? So that's another reason. It's the same general reason I wanted to review Chrono Cross. I'd only played the Chrono Cross the one time and I hated it. So let's see what it's actually like. I have a pretty good memory, but vague memories from 20 years ago aren't much to go on, you know? So, these are the slums where people have been abandoned there like yesterday's garbage. I did whatever I had to survive and live to see another day. Picking pockets every opportunity was a habit I picked up from a very young age, and that caught my eye. I took. Even then, I didn't end up with enough to live on. There's always men there who made their living by taking from people like me. The surest way to make money was stealing from the safes of the rich. Safes? Of the rich when they were out of their mansions. The residential area full of wealthy people on the other side of the river, accessible through an underground sewer, was a perfect target for this. Every time I felt hungry, I sneaked inside one of the mansions and made use of the skills I felt like I'd known since the day I was born. Most important thing to remember when doing this was not to take everything in one go. Instead, the key was to take only a small amount each time. Enough to get by, but not enough for the mansion's owner to notice anything was gone. A simple piece of wire had access to enough Mira to live for a couple more weeks. Before I knew it, I was doing everything every day, building up a stockpile of money instead of simply taking what I needed in the short term. And boy, I paid the price for it. It had all taken from me by the men of the slums, and ended up being kicked and stomped on till I coughed up blood. Everyone did what they did, said they did as much anyway, so they could keep living on. Yeah, the grammar... Oh. The grammar has not been pleasant. Always pretending to be desperate as an excuse to live by any means. But taking the easiest road they could find. The town I lived in was devoid of energy, but full of filthy humans like them, and like me. Again and again I thought about giving it up, and again I said to myself I wanted to stop, but I couldn't do it. I hated myself for what I was doing. I hated the fact that I couldn't stop. It's because I didn't want to return to that life that I ended up becoming a bracer. Because if I didn't, I was scared that I would end up right back where I was. Alright, pause. None of this is new. We've known for a while now that she came from a rough background. We know that she lived on the streets. We know that she was an abandoned orphan who stole from day to day, and she was rescued by Harvey, was his name. And I can't remember her name. It's becoming a meme at this point. Yeah, Luciola, thank you. Yeah, we know all this. None of this is new. And this is a point I was trying to make earlier and I couldn't quite manage. When we saw the whole 91-minute cutscene that I keep talking about, which was Chloe at the school, there were some character and world-building tidbits there that I liked. But it was smeared across an hour and a half, right? Because so much of it was unnecessary information that we already knew. She's comes from a rough childhood is something we could have picked up in the cutscene we just watched, where she immediately rushes up in a hurry, fishes out a wire she just happens to have on her, and lockpicks the door immediately like that. That one action conveys plenty. You don't need this big narration speech of, I knew how to sneak through the sewers, and I understood how to rob from people. We don't need that, because we just saw it happen. The fact that she had that skill right there, immediately, and was that comfortable doing it, while in a stressful situation, says exactly how comfortable she was with lockpicking, which implies a lot about her backstory. Just right there. Bam. Never mind the obvious fact that the previous game had tons of this with Luciola, and the discussion of the circus and where she came from. So this is literally double redundancy. The troop had saved me from that place and made a respectable human being. We know. But when I lost them, I was afraid. We know that too. No matter how much I tried to forget, no matter how much I used to, oh my god. No matter how much I tried to forget, no matter how I used, oh my god, this sentence structure. No matter how much I tried to forget, no matter how used I became to my new life, how used I became to my new life, as in used to. How much I had accommodated to my new life. No, they really have, Easel. Look at that sentence structure. No matter how much I tried to deny it, I was yesterday's garbage from the slums, and nothing I could do would change that. How used to my life I'd become. Ah! That's it, really. One day I'm sure I'll end up returning there. Now, you're going to marry a prince, I'm sure. You know they're pushing Oliver and her together, right? I don't know why. I don't know what she sees in him. They've been doing that for 3 games now. The job I do doesn't even matter. Anything I can pour my heart into that'll let me live an honest life is fine. Anything that keeps my mind off the past. Anything that lets me keep the ugliness in my heart at bay. I guess they are both drunks. That's a terrible reason to marry someone. Hook up with someone. Or shack up with someone. I'm gonna start reading this out loud. This is so redundant. That's true. He is rich. He's not crown prince. He's still prince. And it was implied earlier he has a lot of sway in the military. Not as much as Osborne, but still, he could probably swing. I can finally become a real bracer after I get this last recommendation. Then no one will be able to tell me I'm not strong. I will let them. I will be strong. Anyway, we're leaving. No, she was just narrating that. It really was. It was actually, legitimately, flashbackception. That's actually what happened. I'm gonna stop being nice. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop being nice. Alright, I'll feed you too. Hang on. Hang on, cat. I'll feed you. I'll be nice one last time. Jesus, cat. What? 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 Okay. Enjoy. Yeah, that was an entire flashback of As You Know. Oh man, Retro Justice, neither did I. This is so funny. So the first game scored, honestly, about what I expected it to. Net negative, but not terrible, right? The second game surprised me. Second game was solid, right? Like, I don't want to overpraise, but the second game hooked me in a way that, nothing else had so far. And so I was expecting, like, yeah, with the third game. Silly me. Listen, that cat must now suffer. Any theories as to the dip in quality? So the only thing I know about is, so the pipeline of development was they were making the first game and they were running out of time and budget and everything. And so they crudely chopped it off and shoved what they had out the window. And it showed. Then they started working on the second game and they took feedback. They actually listened and they actually tried and they actually bought them. They did a whole much more, right? They did a better job, pretty much top to bottom, because they actually learned the lessons of making the first game. Cool. Awesome. But then, mid-second game, they decided, let's go ahead and chop off all those story ideas we have for the second game and push those into an epilogue. And that's this. What I think happened is they were getting into that experimental phase, which is a very, very common thing for any creative type to do once they've had their first taste of success. That's not a dick. That's actually pretty normal. You try something, and honestly, you either try something wildly or you try something safe, but either way, you try something, and if it succeeds, then you try to land with your second entry, right? Once you get your success story in, then you're more willing to experiment. It's like, okay, I've got a war chest. I've got some backing. I'm not worried about, paying the rent next month. Let's go ahead and try something. And that's what this game feels like, is they had a bunch of random smattering ideas that were cut from the second game and possibly the first. And all of them were just dumped onto this game as they were screwing around with ideas. And I think it sucks. But... Do I at least have a map? No, of course I don't. Yeah, the fact that this is a bridge to Crossbell is wild to me. I'm curious. Like, don't tell me anything. This is just me speculating out loud. But I'm curious what the hell this has to do with Crossbell. Or indeed, what the hell's going on in Crossbell for this to be relevant. Well, yeah, I mean, I say experiment. Of course it does, Retro Justice, because professional reviewers are idiots. Probably Blade-to-Ball. How could we? We've been doing these stupid doors all day. Sorry. You know, I wonder what it would be like if I were to smear wasps with honey and eat them alive. That's certainly experimental, but, you know, it's a little bit outside of sanity, as you put it so accurately, Fluent. There's experimenting, and then there's... Honestly, Xenogears Disc 2, which was not done deliberately, is a better experiment than this. I mean, that's true. It wasn't until, I think it was chapter... I know it was like it was the last chapter of the first game when the story started. And in the second game, it was like chapter 6, I want to say? It was pretty far in. I remember it because it was the first chapter that had no filler at all, and it was just kind of legit all the way through. Oh, that's true. Chapter 5 was the dragon. Chapter 5 still had issues, but of course, 6 was legit. Don't underestimate the stamina of a bracer. Hang on, she was never more than a few steps behind me at a good moment. How is she still fine? She never seems out of breath, even when chased by those guys, come to think of it. Aww. Farewell, Evo. You don't get to see the scintillating conclusion to the Sherador. You have to sure you don't need rest. I have a few snacks on me. Would like me to share some? It's okay, I'm definitely fine. I'm getting this close to doing doors off camera, honestly. Like, I feel like this is being deleterious to the quality of my show, to do these doors on camera. So hi now. What's up all night working on the damn story? All night! Who the hell does Noticia think she is? Better the scoop, the hotter needs to be caught. Does she think I know that? What do you think he's talking about? I have no more idea than you. Maybe he's using some kind of code like this Ben from earlier. He couldn't be one of them, could he? Do you think he could be? Damn it all. Just look at his eyes. He doesn't look like a man who makes an honest living to me. Ho 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 ho. We must avoid Niall, because he doesn't make a decent living. I mean, if we're past the annoying ones, that's whatever. For the record, I don't want to do them off camera. It's just, god damn it. Did they just front load all the Drek? Is this ARR? Is that what this is? Is all of the worst content right at the beginning? Is that what is? Ugh. You two patrol the area at the bottom of the stairs. I'll take the top. Understood. I guess I'm gonna have to call in Raymond again. Wait, he works the villa now, doesn't he? That's my luck. That's ages away. I swear this job's bad for my blood pressure. I need more nicotine. Yes, that's the solution for blood pressure, is nicotine. You're right, Retro Justice. We just get out like this. I think we have to spend the rest of the night here, unfortunately. Don't need to come to that. I think if I could find a good opening, we could force our way through. Just a case of finding one. I think that's a good idea. We need to be careful and rest while we can. As logical as that sounds, I'm not buying it's a real reason. Get a grip, sure. I can't let my emotions get the better of me. There's no guarantee we're safe here, you know. I still think the safest option is to get to the guild, no matter what we have to do to get there. Even if we have to brutally murder people. Hey, where do you think you're going? I think the second floor is a better place to rest than the first. I find it easier to escape from here than we would below. This should be a good spot. Wait one damn minute. This is your safety we're talking about here. You could just stand to listen to me. I'm going to be patrolling carefully for the rest of the night. They aren't going to give you the opening you want, or at least I don't believe they will. We've made it this far. I think it'd be best if we rest tonight. Resume trying tomorrow, don't you? And do what? Pardon? You're still hiding something, aren't you? For one thing, you're awfully familiar with the city for someone who claims it's their first time here. You seem to know a lot about those men and what they will and won't do. What exactly are you really after? So plain as day at this point, you want more than just to not be caught by them. If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't have asked to be shown around the capital. Not that I think that's what you want either. What's your real goal? Well, no answer. The work we do is based on trust. We can't accept requests from people who won't tell us what they're up to, or who knows what kind of crimes we'd be abetting. Go on. The whole thing about the inheritance was a big fat lie, wasn't it? Something you've been setting off alarms since we started running around together. Strike that, since you first came to the guild. Why'd you lie to me? The story about the inheritance is true, I swear it. I want to go to Grancel Castle. I really am the one to whom my grandfather gave his fortune, but I haven't finished the necessary procedures to truly inherit it yet. Until I complete the required paperwork in Grancel Castle's administrative room, I'm not legally allowed anything. That's why there's so many of those men in the black around that area. All my relatives know exactly what I need to do, you see. So they're trying to make sure I can't do it. Still, if I don't keep trying to move forward, I'll... Okay, for argument's sake, let's assume I believe what you just said. I'm only hearing about it now. You thought we'd want in on the money, didn't you? If I did and I knew everything, I'd have all the opportunities a greedy girl could dream of to take it together with you. That's what you thought I'd do, isn't it? I'd play along and steal it all for myself the second a chance presented itself. Do I look like that much of a scumbag to you? No, you don't. That's not it at all. After I lost grandfather, I lived all on my own. But the second this will became public, I had crowds of people descending on me. People who, like you said, were interested only in claiming his fortune for themselves. No, not another flashback. Oh my god. No. Please, God, no. They started to live in mine and grandfather's house, and before I knew it, my once peaceful life was shattered. One day someone would push me down the stairs, another I'd taste something funny in my food. These kind of things began happening on a regular basis. Legally, they were my relatives while I was a minor, so there's very little I could do. I tried reasoning with them at first, but in the end I had no choice but to leave home myself. I wandered the highways alone, going from place to place and trying not to be discovered. I knew that while I could hopefully avoid being caught that way, I'd eventually have to be declared missing and presumed dead. Besides, after I'd left once, even if I did go back home, I'd be probably locked up somewhere and reported as missing regardless. Grandfather's will be declared invalid, and my relatives would blissfully share their newly bequeathed wealth between them. I hated the thought of that happening. That's why I decided to return here to the capital. If it's the last thing I do, I will formally inherit what he wanted me to. That's why I decided to stay, try and get an escort from someone I could trust. Well, I don't think I could trust you, not at all, and, I will admit, wanting to explore the capital was a lie. I'm sorry for deceiving you. You're a grady moron. You could have said all this from the beginning and saved us a lot of a headache. If I'd known you were trying to do, I would have been able to formally escort you where you wanted to go. The guild would have been the safest place for you to hide, too. We wouldn't have ended up in this dump instead. I suppose you're right. I was just scared. I'll never be able to forget what I saw that day. What I saw in the eyes of everyone who gathered to hear that will read. The horror I felt when I saw it. Madness, insanity, cold, murderous light. Emotions no one can explain, that no one can put into words. It wasn't visible for long before they managed to push it back below the surface and out of sight. But it was still there. Because now I believe that's something all of us possess naturally. You see, humans are evil. Beings are capable of limitless cruelty, every one of us. And that realization left me terrified of all. That realization's left me terrified of us all. It's not that I don't trust bracers, it's just that I've been so scared of humanity. We need a professor to take us into the future. It turns out it was man. My policy to give 100% all the work I undertake. Don't underestimate me. I'm the one who should be apologizing to you. I wanted to be strong. Jesus freaking Christ, Shira. So now she's monologuing in the flashback. Internally. Internal monologue. Hello, cat. See, what we need is a flashback, a monologue, which leads to a flashback, which leads to a monologue, which leads to a flashback. Let's really layer that sucker. So where is it in Grand South Castlevania to go? The administrative room. Deadline for submitting the paperwork is noon. Which is funny, the second game was a chonker interval. God, Mr. Red. Okay. I was told that this game is either much shorter or much longer than the last game. And that's an interesting statement. I was looking forward to a shorter game, but... I knew you'd come eventually. Today's our last chance, after all. It's a cat. Might be something else inside. Yeah, poor cat. Why do we constantly give away our surprise attacks? Every single time we have a surprise at somebody. In all 3 games, we're like, hey, I have taken you by surprise. Are you, Mr. Red, ready for the surprise that I'm about to do upon using you? Because now I have taken you by surprise, and you did not know that I'm here. Behold my attack, which is now taking you without... Oh, you're attacking me. Oh my gosh, the surprise of taking is being surprised. I'm so surprised by the surprise attack. Oh, you know, he's the evil one because he's blonde. Honestly, I could take 5 of these guys. Honestly, I could take 8 of these guys. First, I'm going to kill you. The other lady can live a while longer. She's still useful. As long as we get her right her own will. It'll save us having to forge one later. I think this will be that simple. You say this is going to be unnervous, you got nothing coming. Still run, right? Yes. Take all these guys on myself. While I'm doing that, you run. Not gonna beg for mercy, I take it. You've got something you need to do, and so do I. So let's just do them. What about me? As if I have any intention of dying here. Meanwhile, Death walking over there. Mr. I can still cast spells without orbals. Have you forgotten I'm affiliated with the Grand Soul branch of the Guild? I see nothing odd about my presence here. Happy you seem to have realized exactly what it is you must do. I can't say I'm pleased about how willing you appear to be to throw away your life without first exploring other options. I can't entirely fault your decision from the perspective of a bracer, but I'd like you to give a little more attention to your surroundings. I'm aware that you seem staunchly opposed to relying on others, but take a good look at the situation you're in. Tell me what exactly is it you should be really doing. Great, can you take care of things here for me? Yeah, he could Shrek him. In fact, yeah, I was going to say, we're probably not even going to do anything here. We're just going to do an S-craft, and they're going to die.
Rise, storm, from the space between sky and sea!
I'm not even going to skip it. Half of us should be enough to take care of this guy. Everyone else... Sorry for the delay occurred. Not at all. I've largely taken care of him as is. You do fast work. I was surprised to see the obstinate young lady finally came to her senses. When she was at the Zeiss branch, she was more like a wild boar, always charging forward without stepping to look around her. Is this the time for this conversation? Ah, to be young again. Quit acting like we're not even here. Kill them both. Yeah, they're dead. They're taking their time. What are they even doing? No, there's no need to be hasty. Capturing her isn't even necessary to the plan, as far as I'm concerned. As soon as the noon bell chimes. Who that may be, that would invalidate the will and ensure she doesn't get the money, but it also means you have to share it with everyone else. Which means our share will end up going down. I'd kind of like to avoid that if we can. But don't worry, we've got plenty of options. Remember, you're only dealing with a single young girl. I'm evil. I like murdering people for money. Oh dear, what are you doing here, Aina? I keep telling you how dangerous it is to go venturing outside. And alone. Are you blind, old man? She isn't here alone. Oh, I see you. Getting in my way. It's like they don't even care if they kill Aina in the process. That wasn't a very good shot. I take it marksmanship isn't your forte. Sorry, sir. Shara, what is it? Let's just force our way through here. We don't have time to mess around. Done. It's time to come home, Aina. Everyone's waiting for you, you know. Tee. Infinite hatred. Wait, what are you doing with that whip?
Someone's been naughty.
My money! Oh, money is all that matters. Dry their tears with their dollars. Alright, kill the rest. We're not going to surpass the Chloe cutscene, I think. We're already over the hour mark just for this one sequence. Can I give him another crack with my whip? Just leave him. I don't think he was originally a bad person, though. He'll come around to the whole inheritance matter settled. Yeah, it's totally cool that he tried to murder you more than once for money. Tracer Guild. Not the Guild. Explain claim. I guess the soldiers were more dicks back then. You guys have a timer. Could you go? Seriously, stop talking and go. Oh my god, I swear to god, if they get there too late, I'm gonna be mad. Like, actually give it another negative mad. Yeah, go do your freaking paperwork. Go, 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 shoot, shoot. Go faster! I'm sure it looks like I need a witness. Sure, okay. Only one door is actually mandatory, Mr. Red. The first T to one. Arguably the worst one of all of them. I never knew the day would come when I'd be witness to this, or that the day I would come when I'd be proud to say I was a senior bracer, or that I would be able to feel overwhelmed with pride over something in the first place. Okay. To be clear, I don't agree with this, but something I've heard a lot is that narration is always bad. Now, let me reiterate, I do not agree with that. However, one of the reasons some people, editors and writers especially, tend to say that narration is usually bad is because they've seen bad narration. Narration at its worst, which is this, is telling without showing, right? It's just straight telling. Mr. Red, in the depths of his despair, felt the cold, icy grip of all of the terrible misdeeds he'd done wrench upon his heart. And thus he ended... Like, right? Like, now narration can be well used. I'll give you an example of that. And in fact, it's extremely easy to give an example of that. The beginning of Lord of the Rings is a great narration. You'll also notice that it's a very well-written one. There's very few lines. There's very few lines of dialogue in the Lord of the Rings opening sequence. And it helps that it's Galadriel. She's obviously doing a great job of that. Yeah, there's ways to do good narration. There are. Even some Star Trek episodes, only a few, tend to do a good... it's the captain's log, right? That's what the captain's log is, establishing the scene. And yeah, as Abelbach says, this game can absolutely show you plenty. It's just... whatever. I'm sorry, moving on. Yeah, it's very inconsistent. I don't know what the hell's going on with this game. The first game felt like a rushed mess. The second game felt like a polished game. It was a polished, good game. The third game feels like some gum got stuck in the trash bin and stuck to a lot of the different ideas that had been tossed into the trash bin. And someone pulled out the giant pile of ideas, and that's the game. It's just a bunch of ideas stuck together with chewing gum. Of course Aina gives the money away. We all knew that was coming. I hope she doesn't give all of it away, because that would be stupid. It's the trimmings, exactly. It literally is the trimmings. Like I said, from what I understand from the development perspective, all the scenes, all of these doors were things that were supposed to be in the first two games that were cut for whatever reason. And thus, and yep, of course she gave away all the money. Of course she did. You're stupid. Meanwhile, they're starting to become alcoholics. How young are they here? This is 5 years ago. So how old is Shara right now? Like in the modern timeline. This may look like alcohol, but it's actually water. As today is merely a cause for celebration, I'll turn a blind eye to you drinking tonight. Just don't go drinking so much interferes with the ability to do the job. It's okay, she has a bottomless liver. I expect to see an end to you drinking in every free moment between jobs, day or night, and sneaking out at night for it too. I expect to no longer discover that you've been taking advantage of the busiest times in my schedule to behave like a drunken lunatic. Is that really what you usually do, Shara? You sound like a tried and true troublemaker. Are we clear? Yes, sir. I'm ready for the sir. We're both senior bracers now. I'm hardly even a veteran. I'm still a rookie, says Kurt. Okay, so he was 23 in FC, and it's been, I think, like a total of 3 months, I want to say. They've actually gave me the timeline in bits and pieces. Anyways, so let's just go ahead and say she's 23, right? So she's 18 here. That's fine for her to constantly drink booze. Hiring a Jaeger Corps for personal use carries a very grave punishment. Hiring them is very illegal, but the army isn't slow to act. Yeah, they are. The Jaegers in the country have been targeting wealthy individuals in hopes of getting them to sign contracts. There's been countless cases like this all over the country, with civilians getting caught up in a worrying frequency. I believe the case we're dealing with here was no exception. It's the Jaegers who came to your uncle rather than the other way around. Your uncle was totally a victim. Yeah, thank you, Shara. I'm with you. He tried to kill her. Shara, please calm down. There's no need to shout. I'm sorry, but still. I forgive you for trying to murder me for money. Mr. Ed, you remember last night? Literally, no, actually, this is the same day. So you remember earlier today when you tried to actually murder me to steal my money? I forgive you. After all, you were a victim because a PMC reached out to you and offered their services for you to then murder me. Today, the same day during which I'm having this discussion. I know this game is really big on forgiveness, but like, Jesus Christ. Most of the cases legitimately have been fine with how they've been handling that topic. This is insane. There is such a thing as too forgiving. Even in game design. You know, Shara is plotting to get Aina super drunk. I know, right, Mook? Could you imagine what it would be like if someone tried to do an armed insurrection and we didn't do anything to punish them for that, even though they were legally found guilty of it? Could you imagine such a scenario? You will never get to sleep, Mr. Red. And then Aina does... The next day, Aina visits the Bracers Guild and registered her desire for her uncle to be shown leniency in his sentencing. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to accompany her, having been drunk under the table by her the night before. Yeah, we saw that coming. Oh my god, it's done. Oh my god, it's done. And then, remember? No offboarding whatsoever. We're just here. That's it. That's the end of the cutscene. The end. Oh, right. That was... Sorry, went over a little over, but that was about an hour, 16 minutes. That was 76 minutes. I want to be clear about this. I think that was actually longer than the Chloe one. Hear me out for a second. I read the Chloe one out loud. The whole thing. And that was the 91-minute one. I was reading at my pace for most of this one. And it was still 76 minutes. I think this one is actually longer. Like in terms of raw content, text, sequencing, whatever you want to call that. Like if I read this entire one out loud, it would probably be longer than 91 minutes. So tomorrow, here's the good news. Let me double check. So that requires Estelle. That one requires... I have no idea. That one requires... I still don't know who this is. The Guardian of the Royal Family, which I thought was Julia, and the Blade that serves the Imperial House, which I thought was Mueller. But I've brought them there, and that doesn't do anything. So I don't actually know what that one requires. This one is the girl who shines like the sun. So that's going to be Estelle and Joshua. That one is going to be Agate and Tita. So, with the possible exception of the one I don't understand still, which is this one. So it's bring the guardian of the royal family and the blade that serves the imperial house. It could be Oliver. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. So Olivert and Julia? Although I guess it could also be Olivert and Mueller. That's a good point. I was thinking of royal family as the Beryllian one. Either way, the relevant part is we currently do not have access to any doors. So the only thing we can do tomorrow is actually progress. Oh my god. I need a donut after that. Good news is I have donuts.